Lonely Adventure was entering a path leading to an unknown part of the labyrinth. There was a dragon in front of him that he had never seen before. "I think I'm going to die, let's not argue." When he woke up, I was supposed to become a mythical class adventurer. When he looked into the lake, he saw that he had turned into a bone. Hold on, this is not possible. It sounds nice that adventurers get to start their day early, but most poor people get to start their day early too. Nobles, wealthy merchants, and scholars with chaotic lives are the only ones who sleep until noon. That could just be Rentt Faina's bias, but Rentt scholar friends forget to sleep for days at a time because they're so focused on their research. Rentt should check in on them soon either way. Not something a low-level bronze-class adventurer who grew up in a town that is too small to be on the map would do. Rentt Faina knows one reason. Adventurers get up early to get good jobs. The Adventurers Guild helps us find jobs that are right for our level and skills. There are many jobs to choose from, such as killing monsters, keeping people safe, gathering herbs and materials, and even cleaning mook out of drains. Some friends stopped by to say hello to Rentt and ask if he had found any good job requests. But it looked like Rentt still hadn't found a job that fit him. Rentt thought he would go to the labyrinth of the moon's reflection. Most adventurers go on trips with other people, but Rentt usually works alone. Some things make that happen, but mostly it's because he's not well. He has been adventuring for 10 years, but he is only bronze, which is the second lowest rank. However, he can still make a living by killing monsters and selling magic stones and other supplies to the guild. He even has an emergency fund because he's such a careful adventurer, but at that moment he lost his caution, which is important for all adventurers, because he found something unbelievable in the labyrinth of the moon's reflection that had been explored many times and was now empty. Could it be a secret passageway? If so, it would be a great find. No one has been to this area yet. He might find some valuable weapons or magical gear. No, he could make a lot of money just telling the guild this. If he had been smart, he would have ignored it, but he was a fool and went into that scary and suspicious area by himself. There, he met a real dragon, the scariest monster of all time. Legend has it that they come in many shapes and sizes, and some of them are much bigger than most dragons. He knew right away that it was a dragon, even though he had never seen one before. The dragon's presence and the pressure it put on him proved it to be a dragon as a 1,000-year bronze-class adventurer. He didn't have a chance against something so unique. How am I still alive after a dragon ate me? Wait a minute. Is it true that I'm not dead? I look like a skeleton, and I'm an undead, an immortal monster. But a bishop or priest could easily kill me with their purification magic, because being an undead goes against God's rule that the dead are not meant for this world. That way, does that mean he died? No, he's still awake and remembers things. I need to go back to town. That's not possible for me. Oh, wait, I'm already dead, so I don't want to be destroyed. No, I'm not sure what you mean. An adventurer shouldn't lose his mind. It's not useful to think about questions. I'm not able to answer right now. The dragon seems to be gone, but I should still leave this place. You can find these mazes all over the world. Some researchers have tried to figure out their mysteries, but no one is sure where they come from or how they work. There are different sizes of labyrinths, but they all hold valuable magical items and treasures, and monsters can be found in them. Around every corner. Oh, and monsters are also mysterious. Everyone is probably at the labyrinth of the new moon, where you can make a lot of money in a few days. Some people who like to travel alone, like me, should come here and ask them for help. He needs to first figure out how I'll talk to them. He runs up to attack the undead as soon as he sees it. He might feel heavy because he doesn't have any muscles. He is even less capable than a normal person because his physical abilities are so much worse. That's what you'd expect. In the end, he's just a bone. Now it would be easy for him to beat them. He should be careful now that he can't raise his sword because he is a person. That's not okay. He shouldn't expect to be able to do fancy sword moves since he's made of bones, but what about his other skills? All living things get their strength from their vital energy or spiritual energy. You and I are the same right now. Even though we are both strong, His gear gives him an edge if he uses his spirit energy to improve his physical skills. He's getting back the spirit energy he just used for his attack power. Could it be that monsters, for some reason, change into better beings over time and with experience? People change too, but monsters are on a whole other level. As an example, a skeleton usually stays a skeleton forever, but sometimes they change into ghouls. This is called Existential Evolution. Yes, that is one of the things that Lorraine Vivy is studying. Ghouls are also undead, but they are more like humans because they have flesh. Rentt might be able to get back to town if he hides himself with his robes and masks. It is important for him to strive for existential evolution. First, he'll defeat monsters in this labyrinth and turn into a ghoul that night. Lorraine Vivy didn't understand why her rent wasn't paid today, and she's going to make dinner herself, so that's 5. His ability to move around has mostly been restored anyway. He can use spirit because this light seems to heal him. As long as he has energy and babble, he will try to fight some stronger monsters. Next, slimes are a classic example of a weak monster, but you shouldn't underestimate them. Amorphous liquid monsters are harder to hurt with physical attacks. The easy way to beat them is with magic, but he can't use offensive magic. He can only start fires that are safe for home use, so he'll have to use physical attacks to beat it. Either pierce its core or break up its liquid form until it can't come back together. You need to be weak and skilled. He can use up all of his spirit energy once a day to beat them. He's most likely to fight slimes, but it looks like he got lucky and hit one in the core with his blade first. He'll now get its magic stone. Slimes can fire an acid blast, but once they're dead, the acid is gone from their bodies. Slime fluids are used to make cosmetics for women because they make your skin smooth and clear when you stick your hand in them. Don't we have to stop using monsters to make cosmetics? Women must always want to look beautiful. This is enough to pay for a few days at an inn near the adventurer's base. Sheila put Newbie in a certain party and was going to ask Gent for help, but she hadn't seen him yet. A few days from now. That's not normal. Sheila promised the newbie that she would put her in touch with a helpful veteran if she could wait a few days. However, the newbie looked like she was short on cash. That should be fine. Sheila told her about the labyrinth of the moon's reflection. Nobody new should have any trouble with it. Rentt isn't hungry or sleepy at all if they're good with a sword. He thinks it's clear that since he's not dead, whatever he ate would probably fall to the ground. He fought all night because he thought it was fun, but it looks like existential progress. It takes longer than that. His physical abilities were much worse when he turned into a skeleton, but they're mostly back to normal now. He tested his spirit and energy after killing those monsters and found that it still worked. He can also use his mana. He can even use his godlike powers even though he is not dead. He does not wish to waste it. He's going to use it for this. Bread. Divinity is a useful power that can clean water and keep food from going bad. It can also heal wounds and illnesses. It should last 3 more days after that. He believes. In 3 days, his body will need bread. Not worth your time to think about it. He should put his efforts into achieving existential evolution. For a while, he'll play it safe and slowly beat monsters. He can beat 1 or 2, but 3 would be tough. If he sees 4, he'll run away, and more than 5 will be too much for him. There isn't a good chance he'll meet groups that big in this labyrinth, but if he does, he'll be killed because he's so weak. The last time he went on an adventure was 10 years ago. Counting the time he spent training before that, it's been 20 years. On top of that, even the best adventurers don't have as much spirit, energy, mana, and divinity as he does. He only had 1 strong ability. He knows that being an adventurer isn't his thing. After a few years, most people stop going on adventures and go back to their village to farm or look for another job. But he thought that as long as he was alive, he'd figure something out, so he trained every day without fail. He asked a friend to teach him about magic and monsters. He took on even the smallest jobs. He did that for 10 years to become a mythril class, which was his dream. Adventurers with levels higher than gold and platinum. It's not even hard for naturally talented people to reach the top rank of adventurers who have saved whole nations. He will move up to mythril class. I've lived my whole life to become a skeleton. He's getting stronger than he was as a human, so it won't stop him. He was aware of it. It's not a mistake that he's getting stronger. These things can be sold by him. He should gather more. He's lucky to get more clear slime. Fluid slimes smell pretty bad after eating something, so their fluids can't be sold. What's going on? He's a ghoul, a creepy dead body, but he has flesh. This is a big step forward. If he works hard, he might be able to get even better at being undead. Oh, yes, vampires do kind of look like people, right? His body is fleshy. We'll let him make noise now. Hello, good morning.
Our story begins with our protagonist, the skeletal structure, chasing monsters and informing us that when ghouls multiply, it becomes quite troublesome. However, there won't be any issues if we position ourselves well and turn the battle into one-on-one combat. Since evolving into a ghoul, he feels more agile and attributes it to the increased muscle mass he has gained. What surprises him the most is the enhanced ability to use magic, spiritual power, and divine aura. Now he can channel his full strength into his sword, killing monsters with a single strike. He realizes he has become much stronger than when he was human. The scene then transitions to a beautiful girl with yellow hair attacking the skeletal structure and breaking its neck with her sword. Our protagonist observes her from behind and decides to withdraw to avoid revealing his appearance in this form. He understands that if she sees him as a ghoul, she may either try to kill him or flee in fear. He constantly watches from a distance, realizing that he hasn't seen her before, despite knowing most adventurers in the town. This is because many adventurers used to mock him and spread false rumors about his failures, but he managed to use their tendencies for his benefit. The girl continues on her way, and the ghoul follows, continuing his narration. He informs us that the guild believes having adventurers like him is beneficial, even with his low level. They haven't advised him to stop, and the decrease in the number of adventurers has improved the overall quality in the town. The girl walks ahead, and the ghoul keeps watching. As she walks, a strange light appears, and we see another skeletal structure in front of her. Startled, the girl attacks it with her sword. It's clear she's skilled with the blade, but she faces some challenges due to her lack of strength. Failing to cut through the skeletal structure, it pushes her back. The ghoul approaches her as she tries to attack with her sword again, but he effortlessly catches the blade with his hand, pushing her backward. In these tense moments, Rentt watches the situation from a distance, realizing he has no choice but to intervene and save her. Rentt rushes towards them with great speed. When the skeletal structure turns to him, Rentt unleashes his immense power, splitting his sword into two halves. Rina is astonished by what the skeletal structure has done. As Rentt approaches her to make sure she's okay, Rina is fearful and warns him not to come closer. Rentt, wanting to convey that he is not an enemy, drops his sword, raises both hands, and introduces himself as an adventurer just like her. He tells her his name is Rentt, but Rina hears it differently, welcoming him as Miss Rendu. Rentt corrects her, and when she asks about his unusual appearance, he explains that he died but is still alive, giving him a different form from other monsters. Grateful for Rentt's assistance, Rina acknowledges that without him, she would have been among the dead. Rentt asks her to fetch him some clothes, as he wishes to return to his hometown and would appreciate her help. He hands her some money, instructing her to buy him clothes and keep the rest. Rina introduces herself as Robaju Rina and promises to repay the favor. She asks him to wait for her to return with the clothes, expressing her fear of his current form. Rentt, left alone, is concerned that Rina might report him to the guild. The scene shifts back to the city, specifically to the moment when Rina arrives, still catching her breath. Sheila, upon seeing Rina unharmed, becomes relieved and worried, wondering why she took so long and noting the absence of injuries or scratches on her. Sheila had been anxious as the sun set, and Rina had not returned to their meeting spot. Rina informed him that she had experienced a lot of events. The scene then shifts to Rentt, who is now fighting those creatures and appears to be much stronger than when he was human. He possesses superhuman abilities and incredible speed, swiftly moving towards the monster and tearing it apart with his sword. He realizes that knowledge and training alone are not enough. Since his transformation, he feels that he has gained something he desired most in his life, the talent. In those moments, someone calls out to him, "Lord Rentt, where are you?" When he turns around, he finds Rina has arrived. However, she is afraid of him, unsure if he is Rentt or another being from the ghoul race. Rentt reassures her that he is indeed Rentt in his foolish appearance, and ghouls don't take such risks to climb to such heights. Renee then hands him the clothes and what remains of the money. Still somewhat frightened, she apologizes and asks him to give her some time to get used to the situation, as beginnings are always like this. Rento looks at the clothes Rina brought and is delighted to find a very good cloak that can conceal his entire body like magic with inconspicuous colors. Seeing Rento so pleased with the clothes, Rina informs him that she bought something else for him, thinking he might need it. She had visited the town a short while ago, and the guild members guided her to a good shop where she bought these clothes. Rento then looks at the bag of clothes and finds that she bought him a hood. She explains that she thought he might be in trouble if people saw his hands or feet. Rento becomes even more joyful, feeling grateful for her kindness. He was on the verge of tears as he had found someone with such generosity at that moment. Sensing his sadness, Rina calls out to him, and he assures her that he is fine. He is just extremely happy with what she has done for him. He is eager to wear the new clothes right away. And indeed, he puts on the clothes and finds that it is very easy to move in them. They might slightly obstruct his vision, but he won't face any problems if the opponent is just a monster or two. Rina asks him about his opinion on the clothes, and he tells her that he is very happy with them. Rina is delighted that she succeeded in this task. She then tells him that he looks very attractive in these clothes, somewhat resembling bare white. She hands him a mirror, and when Rento looks at himself, he finds that his face is quite attention-grabbing. Rina then hands him a mask, revealing that she bought it because she learned he might have difficulty entering the town with his current appearance. Rento expresses his gratitude and takes the mask to wear it. Rina speaks to him about their first encounter, mentioning that she initially thought he was a rare monster with a certain name. Rento puts on the mask, and as it gets closer to his face, a strange aura appears. The mask adheres to Rento's face, astonishing Rina. Rento tries to remove it, but he can't. Rina becomes frightened, fearing that something might happen to him. She apologizes and explains that she took the mask from the store because she found it intriguing. Rento responds, asking if the guild directed her to that store. Rina confirms, stating that the guild indeed guided her to the store, and she only bought this mask, which was unbelievably cheap, only 3 copper coins. She initially ensured it wasn't cursed or anything harmful, and that nothing strange happened when she touched it. Rento then mentions that if the curse activates only when he wears it, he'll use the aura's power to save himself. Rina is astonished, saying, "Can you use the aura?" Rento tries using the halo's power to free himself, surprising Rina even more. She exclaims, questioning his ability to use the halo. Then Rento responds to her, saying, "Yes, I used it briefly." He mutters to himself that the halo's power has increased, perhaps enough to remove a simple curse like this. Rina then holds his arm, expressing that she's no longer afraid of him and has realized he's not a bad person. Rento thanks her and suggests she shouldn't force herself to get used to him. As they head back to the town, Rina explains that she registered her name as an adventurer in the guild in the capital. However, since the capital is full of skilled adventurers, there aren't many suitable tasks for beginners like her. The guild advised her to come to this town, and there are 2 dungeons nearby. Rento responds, praising her decision, but questioning why she chose to come to such a rural village. Rina explains she intended to leave the capital from the beginning and wanted to quickly polish her skills to become a mature adventurer. Rento warns her that adventurers must be extremely cautious because they only have one life. Unlike him with multiple lives, they laugh together. Upon reaching the town, Rento appears hesitant. Rina asks what's wrong, and he explains that he has many acquaintances here, and if they see his card, his secret will be exposed. Rina suggests they enter through another gate where they won't be asked to show their card. Rento agrees, saying they'll head to the western gate. He thanks Rina, acknowledging her role in his presence there. Rina tells him not to speak as if he's bidding farewell and assures him of her ongoing assistance even after they enter the town. Rento, expressing concern about being seen as a monster, mentions potential trouble for Rina, but she insists she will help him regardless. Rento then mentions that if he hadn't met her, he might be dead by now, leaving Rina emotional. "So, shouldn't I risk my life once again for you, Lord Rento? Come on, let's go now and enter this village together." Indeed, they head towards the village entrance from the western gate. The guards ask them to reveal their identities, so they present their adventurer cards, confirming that they are adventurers. Rina enters first, followed by Rento. However, Rento's peculiar appearance catches the guards' attention, and they surround him, asking to see his face. Rina quickly intervenes, claiming that there's a curse on his mask and he can't remove it. One of the soldiers, surprised, questions the possibility of such a curse. Rina explains that Rento's voice changed due to a wound he received in a fight with a monster. Rento reveals a part of his head, stunning the soldiers. Rina confirms that he bought the mask to hide the scar, but was unaware that it was cursed and now he can't remove it. Feeling sorry for his misfortune, the guards request Rento to try removing the mask himself, assuring him it won't harm him if they touch it. A soldier attempts to pull it off with all his strength but fails. Rento then asks the guard to try, ensuring that he won't be harmed. The soldier struggles but cannot remove the cursed mask. Rina informs them that they will need a considerable amount of money to have a priest from the church remove the curse. The guards, sympathizing with their situation, allow them to pass. Rina expresses her joy at successfully crossing, and Rento thanks her for everything. Suddenly, Rento disappears when a carriage passes in front of them. Rina tells him that she only did what she could to repay the kindness he showed her. Rento, appreciative, thanks her, and they continue their journey. Rina continues searching for him and finds him hiding next to the wall. When she sees him, she calls out and looks for him, making him confirm that she is indeed a kind girl. Despite her inexpensive equipment, she takes care of them well, showcasing skill with the sword and bracelet. Rento reflects on how adventurers with talent like hers eventually abandoned him. He apologizes, stating he will return and apologize to her once he regains his human form to some extent. As darkness falls, he arrives at a house and thinks to himself that it pains him to exploit a kind girl like Rina. However, he still needs assistance, desiring someone more cunning, someone who can hide these secrets. He knocks on the door, but there's no answer. He decides to enter the house and finds a woman sleeping. He calls out to her, recognizing her as Lauren. He asks her to wake up, but she pleads with him to let her sleep a little longer, threatening to drop books on her head. She begs him not to, but suddenly she wakes up and questions him. Startled, she notices Rento has removed one of his gloves, revealing a gruesome sight. Confused and shocked, she wants to know what happened. And with that, our episode concludes today. Stay tuned for the next thrilling episode, with exciting events unfolding. We encourage you to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to receive all the latest updates. The episode begins with the girl Lauren sitting at her desk, hearing a knocking sound on the door. She realizes it's Rento, but is surprised that he didn't just open the door and enter. Lauren gets up from her desk and goes to the couch, lying down. Rento enters and approaches her, trying to wake her up, threatening to drop books on her if she doesn't wake up. Lauren wakes up and, upon seeing Rento, expresses surprise. Lauren informs Rento that she studies magic and the nature of monsters but has never heard of someone being turned into an immortal creature by a dragon. She asks him if the dragon is still in the maze, to which Rento replies that it's not. Lauren then reveals that she wants to tell him that his story is fake, but she has to believe it based on what she sees. Rento, talking to himself, notes that Lauren remained calm and didn't panic at the sight, which he finds expected from an adventurer and researcher like her. Lauren questions Rento about whether he is sure that the immortal being in front of her is indeed her close friend Faina Rento. Rento explains that he still retains his consciousness and memories related to Faina Rento, but he is confident that Faina Rento is dead. He ponders whether the current consciousness is the same as the previous one. Lauren acknowledges that it's challenging to determine if they are the exact same person and promises to think about it later. She then asks Rento what he intends to do now. Rento expresses his desire to continue his adventures and reach the rank of mythril, but acknowledges that he can't go to the guild looking like this. Lauren suggests that she could take on missions on his behalf if he helps her in her research. Rento agrees but refuses to let her dissect him. Lauren insists on receiving some skin and flesh for her evolutionary biology research instead. The two strike a deal, and Lauren decides to investigate this unique case of evolution directly. In the morning of the next day, we see Rento cleaning the windows when Lauren enters, carrying some bags of magical stones and slime currency. She informs him that purchasing these directly from him would save her the fee she would have paid to the guild. Moreover, the materials he provides are always of high quality, allowing her to create excellent cosmetic powders. Rento takes the money and tells her he's heading to the Trifork shop. The scene transitions to Rento walking through the city, feeling immense joy at having a lot of money. People look at him with surprise and bewilderment due to his frightening appearance. Finally, Rento arrives at the shop, where the girl welcomes him and reassures him about his appearance, mentioning that many people come there with their faces and bodies completely disfigured. When asked about the reason for his visit, Rento presents the sword and expresses his desire for a new one. The girl opens the sword and notices numerous notches, suggesting it has been used in great battles. The wounds on the sword indicate that Rento uses magic or spiritual power. Rento confirms this, mentioning the use of holy aura as well. The shopkeeper is amazed by his unique abilities, considering them extremely rare. Rento insists on keeping these powers a secret between them. Rento asks if the money he provided is sufficient for a new sword, and the shopkeeper assures him it is. She takes half of the amount as an initial payment and promises to deliver the rest upon completion of the new sword. Rento expresses his gratitude to the shopkeeper, and before leaving, she informs him that the owner of the store, named Kurub, is obsessed with perfection. She warns that it might take a few days to craft his sword, and he may be asked to attend during its creation. Rento doesn't mind and mentions that if she needs to contact him, she should send a message to the researcher Lauren, as he will be at her house. The scene shifts to Lauren, who is reading a book about Gillans, ancient creatures with long lifespans, low ranks, and exceptional physical strength. They feed on animal meat, with a preference for human flesh. Lauren contemplates the possibility that these creatures are created from humans attacked by powerful monsters in mazes. They lose not only their human appearance, but also their consciousness and emotions. After closing the book, Lauren reflects on Rento, considering him a unique case as he retained his consciousness while only his appearance changed. She acknowledges the uncertainty about whether he is still the same person. However, she leans towards believing that he is indeed Rento based on their long history together. Later, Rento arrives and hands her money, revealing his plan to accompany her on a mission to Azur Forest. He wants to help her carry luggage, and since he's a beginner adventurer with an iron rank, she won't have to pay him. Lauren agrees, and they begin searching for papers and research materials. At this point, Lauren has earned the title of the youngest girl to achieve a doctoral degree. Lauren, a highly intelligent girl, receives the coveted Red Book, a rare item obtained by only a select few. The scene shifts to the moment when she finally finds the elusive flowers. She advises Rento to carefully pick the plant with its roots, as the effectiveness of the flowers diminishes if not handled with caution. Lauren then calls for Rento, the luggage carrier, who hands her the bag for the flowers. As they prepare to leave, a large double appears, seeking to kill Rento. He stands in front of Lauren to defend her and instructs her to use the fire shell. Lauren successfully uses the fire shell, impressing Rento with her combat skills. She explains that such feats are expected of a silver-ranked adventurer like her, possessing magical abilities beyond the norm. After the battle, Rento offers Lauren some water to drink. He inquires if this was her first fight, and she reveals that she has fought many times, but always with a group of companions and guards. Rento understands that her friend sent him along to protect her. When Lauren asks about Rento's expertise in herbs, he advises her that aspiring adventurers should learn to read and write, be knowledgeable about plants and monsters, and study a variety of subjects. Returning to the present, Lauren asks Rento about his name. They introduce themselves to each other, and Lauren requests Rento's guidance in learning about plants, combat, and everything he knows. Rento agrees, recognizing that Lauren needs to learn various skills to become a successful adventurer. Lauren reflects on Rento's journey to reach the mythril rank, noting that he worked hard without slacking off for a single day over the past 10 years. She imagines his dedication to studying and feels a sense of comfort thinking about his academic pursuits. Lauren realizes that the elders were concerned about her, not responding to their inquiries, and decides to search for the answers to avoid further reprimands. The scene transitions to Rento standing with the blacksmith, asking him to take care of his new sword. The blacksmith assures Rento that he has no need to worry and will craft it with great skill. Rento expresses gratitude and mentions that he relies on the blacksmith a lot. The girl who gave him the temporary sword informs Rento that he can use magic and spiritual power, but should avoid using anything else. After their conversation, Rento leaves, and the blacksmith expresses concern, feeling that Rento is in a difficult situation. He worries that there might be a curse affecting Rento, and he doesn't want to cause them trouble with the troublesome curse. The girl with him reveals that Rento mentioned knowing Lauren and possessing the 3 attributes. The girl comments that soon they will make him reveal the truth as he continues to visit their shop. The scene shifts to Lauren thanking Rento for the food he brought. She is impressed, saying she hasn't tasted his cooking in a while, and asks if he won't eat. Rento replies that he's not hungry, She then mentions reading the references again while he was away, and notices a clear difference between him and an ordinary ghoul. She asks what he will transform into next, and he replies that he wants to become something humanoid. Lauren inquires if he plans to venture into the maze again, and he affirms, expressing his desire to continue killing monsters to become stronger. Lauren acknowledges his commitment to evolution and suggests heading to the maze. Rentt agrees, stating that he will continue killing monsters to grow stronger. The scene then shifts to the maze, where a man is struggling against a slime monster. The slime's attack sends the man's sword flying, and he becomes frightened. Rentt arrives in the nick of time, rescues him, and the man expresses gratitude, stating that he never imagined slimes could be so powerful. After saving him, Rentt reflects on the responsibility each adventurer bears for themselves, especially when venturing into a maze where no one knows if someone dies. He acknowledges that it's an adventurer's responsibility to handle their own troubles. The man approaches Rentt, asking to be accepted as a friend, revealing he's a novice adventurer who just registered, but can't even fight slimes. Rentt explains that slimes are formidable opponents and suggests that the man, who was originally a cook, focus on his restaurant rather than risking his life. The man discloses his financial struggles, explaining that he needs to pay off debts quickly. He had pleaded with other adventurers to join their party, but was rejected, so he decided to face the maze alone. Rentt, inwardly thinking about the peculiarities of this maze meant for solo adventurers, apologizes to the man, stating that he is busy. The man, disappointed, accepts the situation. However, Rentt unexpectedly tells him that it's okay to come along and help carry the equipment, bringing immense joy to the man who can't believe his luck. Inwardly, Rentt questions if this man is genuinely good, but he decides that helping someone occasionally might not be a bad thing. The man, wearing his armor, expresses confidence in his abilities and mentions that he can do anything. This triggers Rentt's intense anxiety as he wonders if he is still himself. He recalls Lauren's doubts about him being the same Rentt. Despite the unease, Rentt continues the journey with the man until they reach a path. The man, thinking it's a dead end based on his map, expresses confusion. Then Rentt says to him, "Don't worry, just follow me." Suddenly they discover a passage, leaving the man astonished because, according to his map, it was marked as a dead end. They continue to explore the passage, and the man is amazed at the unexpected turn of events. He hadn't imagined finding such a place in the reflected moon maze. However, Rentt explains that he came here to find the dragon responsible for the curse that transformed him, but he hasn't found it yet. The man, while exploring the area, excitedly calls Rentt. He has found a secret passage. Rentt rushes to him, and indeed, there's a hidden passage. The man suggests reporting this discovery to the Adventurers Guild, thinking they could earn a fortune. However, realizing his mistake, he quickly corrects himself, stating that he knows Rentt made the discovery. Rentt reassures him that he's not concerned about credit. The essential thing is the newly found passage. Rentt proceeds down the secret passage with the man following closely. They enter a room that appears empty, and the man, hoping to find hidden treasures, starts searching for a secret passage within the room. Suddenly, a teleportation circle appears in the room, and despite Rentt's attempts to warn the man, he ignores the caution. The man vanishes into the magical circle, leaving only his hat behind. Rentt hurriedly follows him into the circle. As Rentt arrives in another room, he finds the man lying on the floor, presumably injured again. Worried, Rentt rushes to check on him. Suddenly, a colossal monster appears, a gigantic skeletal structure. Rentt assumes this might be the room of the monster leader and prepares to fight, drawing his sword as both his and the monster's eyes turn red. The translated portion concludes with the suspenseful moment of Rentt facing the enormous monster, and the question remains, can he overcome this formidable opponent and find a way to return to his human form? This is something we'll discover in the next episode, so stay tuned. In the previous episode of the Animantro and the skeletal structure, Rentt entered a transitional circle behind the man in the dungeon to check on him, as the place was very dangerous. To his surprise, he encountered an enormous skeletal structure. Now let's find out what will happen to them. Can Rentt defeat the gigantic skeletal structure, which measures over 3 meters tall? Follow along until the end to discover everything. Our episode begins with Rentt engaged in a battle against the colossal skeletal structure. He uses his power to strike its leg, but the structure remains unaffected. It appears that this skeletal giant is from a lineage of powerful beings, possibly descendants of Ad and Thamud, known for their great physical strength. Rento utilizes his fiery power, swiftly moving towards the skeletal structure and striking it again, but to no avail. The creature seems impervious to his attacks. Oh dear, what can be done now? Rento realizes that the exit gate has disappeared, trapping them in the room. They must face their fate, either victory or death. Cornered in the room, Rento recalls his past as a member of the Adventurers Guild, understanding that he must be strong and never give up. However, he is uncertain whether his sword can withstand the skeletal structure. In those moments of uncertainty, Rento employs the power of the green aura surrounding his sword. He charges at the skeletal structure, striking its leg and causing it to lose balance. Seizing the opportunity, Rento swiftly moves in, delivering a final blow to the skeletal structure, causing it to collapse. The scene then shifts to Rento treating the injured man, Loris, who was struck by the skeletal structure. Upon inspecting the fallen creature, Rento finds it completely shattered on the ground. Amazed, Loris exclaims, "Oh my, I can't believe what just happened. Did you do this alone?" Rento then informs him that he was the one who defeated the monstrous creature. He reveals the jewel he obtained after slaying the giant beast, indicating that possessing such a large stone implies that it was a supernatural monster. Rento tells Loris that if he desires the jewel, he's willing to give it to him, but there will be a condition. Perplexed, Loris wonders why a strong adventurer like Rento would need assistance from someone he considers weak. Rento then reveals his disfigured body, a result of an attack by a monster. He explains that he can no longer enter the guild or even shops in town, so he needs Loris's help to gain access to his store. Loris, realizing that Rento seeks more than just the jewel, offers him a deal, stating that the value of the gem is much higher than what Rento is asking for. However, Rento insists on a simple favor, the freedom to eat and drink at Loris' establishment without any cost. The man is surprised because the value of the jewel is significantly higher than what Rento is requesting. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Loris breaks into tears, touched by Rento's genuine kindness. He assures Rento that he can eat as much as he wants, and in return, he will do everything in his power to prevent any harm to befall Rento's store. Rento then rises from his seat, handing the large jewel to Loris. As they glance towards the door, they find it completely sealed, with no apparent way out. Only Rento can see the magical gate, while Loris sees nothing. Rento instructs Loris to take 3 steps forward, assuring him that the gate will transport him back to his original location. The scene transitions to Loris and Rento at Loris's beautifully adorned establishment. Rento comments on the exquisite appearance of the place but wonders if the food tastes as good as it looks. In that moment, Loris's daughter emerges, embracing her father, expressing relief that he is well. Loris reassures her that he only sustained minor injuries, thanks to Rento's intervention. He then presents the large jewel to his daughter, Isabel. Isabel, however, reacts with concern, warning her father about the potential dangers of accepting such gifts without verification. Loris assures her that Rento is genuinely kind and has offered assistance after learning about his debts. He explains that Rento has become their helper from now on, and as part of the deal, Rento is allowed to dine in their establishment without payment. Isabel is astonished by Rento's humble conditions, but she is taken aback by the lenient terms he has set. Rento assures them that their daily activities will not involve any danger. Isabel, still surprised by Rento's conditions, embraces her father again, relieved that he is safe. As Rento continues to converse with them, they exchange introductions and get to know each other. Rento then leads them to another part of the establishment, prompting Loris to address him. Loris expresses his gratitude and offers to settle his significant debt as a token of appreciation. Rento agrees to keep his identity a secret and insists that Loris refer to him as Sir. The skeletal structure, now identified as Rento, thanks Loris for mentioning his name and invites him to dine at any time, assuring him a warm welcome. The scene transitions to Rento walking through the streets, talking to himself. He recalls Loris and remarks that he had wished Loris was a deceitful person to test his approach. Suddenly, the scene becomes distorted as Rento calls out for Lauren. Then he arrives at her house, opens the door, and greets her. Lauren asks him if he knows where the replies from the Empire are because if she doesn't respond to them quickly, they might become worried and visit her suddenly. She then looks at Rento and asks if he's okay. Rento informs her that he is happy and proceeds to embrace her. Lauren is surprised by Rento's actions and asks what he's doing. Suddenly, Rento bites her neck, leaving Lauren astonished. She questions him about his identity, and Rento takes 2 steps back, assuring her that the taste is delicious. Lauren asks if whatever was inside that body is still there. Lauren then addresses Rento as Brento, and suddenly, a blue light appears in Rento's eyes, easing Lauren's worry as she confirms that Rento is still present. Lauren uses her magic to strike Rento, causing him to faint. Lauren speaks to herself, stating that he is still alive, leaving him to rest and mentioning that if he desires to prey on her, he can do it when he is conscious because she won't object. Later, Rento wakes up feeling a significant pain in his head. Lauren asks if he feels like something is controlling him or compelling him to do something strange. Rento apologizes, and Lauren accepts his apology, explaining that it was unintentional. Lauren then requests him to share the last thing he remembers. Rento recalls attacking her, meeting a man in the maze, feeling a strong desire for him, and sensing a strange turn of events. He then felt a strong urge to eat Lauren. Lauren tells him that she expected this because ghouls prefer human flesh and blood. Rento assures her that he is fine, and Lauren suggests that he must rest well. When Lauren is about to leave, Rento stops her and asks to see the wound. Lauren mentions that she sold all her medicines to the pharmacy, but if she gets the ingredients tomorrow, she can make another one. Rento places his hands on the wound and begins to heal it, surprising Lauren, who learns that Rento can use the holy aura. Rento, capable of healing, tells Lauren that it was the first time someone treated her with the holy aura and she felt a comforting sensation. After Rento finishes treating Lauren, she informs him that the pain is completely gone. Lauren then inquires if Rento can also heal old wounds, to which he confirms. Lauren asks about the appearance of Rento's face, and he looks into a mirror, realizing that his mask has changed significantly. He notices that he would be in a predicament if he didn't cover it. Suddenly, the mask reveals one eye and covers his mouth. Lauren expresses that the mask seems to be more than just cursed. It responds to Rento's desires, a rarity. Lauren attempts to remove the mask but fails, realizing that Rento has to keep it on for some time. Rento shares that he feels speaking has become easier for him, and Lauren notices his improvement. Rento reveals that he senses a development after killing powerful monsters. Lauren asks if it's possible that Rento evolved because he tasted her blood and flesh. Rento is surprised, and Lauren suggests that he now resembles a character from a series called Shiki more than a typical ghoul. Rento expresses his disinterest in watching the series as it revolves around vampires. Lauren questions why his form evolved this way, and Rento is curious to hear Lauren's theory. Lauren mentions the evolutionary theory as a deep puzzle for researchers, akin to the mystery of mazes. She then reveals her own theory. As they sit together, Lauren asks if Rento was initially a skeletal structure. Rento recalls the stages of his evolution, starting as a skeletal structure, then transforming into a ghoul. Lauren finds it strange that the transformation from a skeletal structure to a ghoul was direct. She brings up the theory of biological evolution, representing a deep mystery for researchers, like the existence of mazes. Lauren then asks Rento if he wants to hear her theory, and he agrees. Lauren explains that she was going to share it with him, regardless of his acceptance. She asks if Rento has ever heard of Shiki, a character from a series. Rento replies that he hasn't watched the series and wonders why Shiki's appearance is relevant. Lauren suggests that the direct transformation from a skeletal structure to a ghoul might be peculiar in itself. Lauren explains to Rento that according to the theory of existential evolution, monsters evolve into higher forms, although the accuracy of this concept is uncertain. She then asks him directly whether ghouls are the immediate evolutionary stage following the skeletal structure. Rento clarifies that there are intermediate stages like the skeletal soldier and skeletal knight, along with many other forms. But he doesn't know if there are recorded cases of skeletal structures evolving directly into ghouls. Lauren speculates that it could be a coincidence or there might be a reason behind such transformations. Lauren informs Rento that she doesn't have definitive information on this matter, but offers her speculation. She suggests that monsters evolve into the creatures they desire to be. She recalls Rento expressing his wish to transform into a being close to human form, and Rento agrees that he had that desire. However, Lauren questions why he didn't evolve into a vampire first, as they are closer to humans. Rento realizes the logic and admits that he did wish for that transformation before. Lauren draws a parallel between this idea and the guild's rank system, stating that you cannot directly jump from the iron rank to the gold rank. There are specific conditions and a certain level of strength required to reach each rank. She brings up experiments conducted on small-sized monsters, revealing that the environment surrounding them affects the evolutionary process. Monsters in volcanic regions develop fire-related abilities, while those in aquatic areas exhibit aquatic features. Loren suggests that their evolution is influenced by the environment. However, Loren introduces the possibility that evolution might be a result of the monster's desires themselves. While she acknowledges a lack of sufficient evidence, she proposes the idea that monsters might influence their own evolution based on their preferences. Rento ponders this perspective, and Loren concludes by suggesting that if he exerts enough effort, he might be able to transform into a vampire, considering it as a potential outcome of his desires. Moreover, there's a possibility that Rento might return to being human someday. Loren informs him that if he wishes to become a vampire, he needs to kill some monsters to evolve further. Rento believes he has already transformed when he tasted Loren's blood and flesh, curious about the conditions for becoming a vampire. Loren admits uncertainty and acknowledges that their conversation is built on assumptions and speculations. Rento expresses gratitude for Loren's support and dedication. Loren suggests that continuous effort is the only option, and she promises to provide support. Suddenly, Loren becomes enthusiastic, telling Rento to undress while she plans to document his body in detail using a magical tool. She also mentions extracting a piece of his body for experimentation. When asked if he'll feel pain, Rento is uncertain, and Loren offers to prepare anesthesia, but he declines, making it part of the experiment. Loren emphasizes testing Rento's sleep patterns, appetite, and ability to digest regular food since he's now a creature close to a vampire. She plans additional experiments. The next morning, Rento is found training with a sword outside, checking his physical condition and feeling remarkably well. The strange desire for unusual food has disappeared. However, Rento realizes he won't be able to enter the maze with the sword, and he immediately goes to the swordsmith group. Upon reaching the swordsmith group, he finds them angry and surprised at the state of the sword he previously received. It's damaged beyond repair. Rento acknowledges that using this sword in the maze would upset the group, prompting him to go directly to the swordsmith, who expresses frustration and disbelief at the sword's condition. The swordsmith confirms it cannot be fixed because it's completely ruined. So, Rento apologizes to the swordsmith for the damage caused to the sword, explaining that he used the holy aura. The swordsmith is not surprised, as he had warned Rento not to use that particular aura on the sword. Rento then astonishes the swordsmith by mentioning a giant skeletal structure he found in a secret magical place. The swordsmith verifies the information, eventually believing Rento, but he urges him to quickly finish his sword because other adventurers might head to that mysterious place. The swordsmith offers Rento a temporary replacement sword, choosing something even better this time. Rento expresses immense gratitude and joy, taking the new sword with appreciation. As he leaves the shop and walks in the street, he thinks his secret might have been exposed. However, he decides to enter the maze again to evolve rapidly. Suddenly, he encounters the man who gave him the large gem before, and he remembers the couple running a restaurant. They inform him that they will reopen the Red Dragon restaurant starting from today, expressing great happiness. The husband mentions restarting the business, hoping for more customers. Rento is delighted by the news and leaves the scene. As Rento walks away, he feels a sense of accomplishment and closure. He reflects on the events and wonders what thrilling adventures lie ahead. The episode concludes with a teaser for future exciting episodes, urging the audience to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell for updates. The episode begins with Lorena telling Rento, the hero, that he will be surprised to see harmful substances for humans rolling towards that direction. But she starts activating the spell, mentioning that alone, it can cause diarrhea and numbness in the limbs, but if combined with purification and distillation, they can even defeat the Red Bear. Rento thinks to himself that alchemy is indeed scary, and though he agreed to help her with experiments, he fears he might die assisting her. Later, he drinks the poisonous potion, and she asks if he can use magic to neutralize its effects. He assures her, but complains about the terrible taste. She reveals that he is the first person to taste the poison, and despite not affecting him, his body responds to the antidote. She admires his unique body and asks if his desire for sleep has disappeared after the transformation. He confirms, stating he no longer feels the need to sleep. She expresses jealousy and calls him weak, but he admits still craving human flesh and blood. Lorena hands him a bottle, revealing it contains her blood with a charm to preserve it. Despite his initial resistance to the idea of drinking human blood, she persuades him to consume it regularly to avoid losing control. Rentt reluctantly tastes it and finds it delicious. She asks if a drop is enough, and he agrees, satisfied with quenching his thirst. He informs her of his departure to the labyrinth, and she reminds him to show his personal card at the guild to receive a mission, warning of potential trouble due to his appearance. Rentt is surprised by this information and says that while his appearance has changed significantly, he's just a bronze-ranked adventurer, and he doubts anyone will pay attention to him. However, Rina explains that there are many adventurers with bronze rank like him, but the guild has a special appreciation for him due to his dedication, such as assisting newcomers and handling troublesome tasks. He considers those tasks simple, but she emphasizes their value and mentions there was even a discussion about appointing him as a guild member. This revelation astonishes Rentt, and he wonders why they would consider someone like him. Rina explains that they found it difficult to discuss it with him, directly because he never expressed a desire to retire. Rentt then asks how she knows all this, and she mentions having some connections within the guild. Rentt firmly states that he has no intention of retiring or joining the guild. Rina continues, revealing that to raise his rank, he must take an exam, which ordinary adventurers can only attempt if they have notable achievements. She suggests that he takes the test himself, and he contemplates the situation. Rina figures out a solution for him to take the test. He should become someone else. The next day, Rentt is at the guild, expressing his nostalgia for the place. He encounters Sheila, the staff member, who asks if it's his first time there. Rentt informs her that he wants to register as an adventurer. Sheila hands him a form, explaining that he can leave any unanswered questions blank, except for his name. Rentt reflects on how 10 years ago, he only knew his name and age, but now the situation is different. He contemplates that his goal remains the same, and he fills out the form with his updated skills and magical abilities. Afterward, he remembers Rina's words suggesting he re-register with a new name. He initially dismisses the idea, as registering with 2 names would violate the rules. Rina, however, insists there is no other way. Even if they discover it, it won't be a serious offense as he can explain his transformation, whereas being known as the person who willingly transformed might raise more questions. Rentt completes the registration form under the new name and hands it to Sheila, the staff member. Sheila is surprised to see that the new name, Rentt Vivi, is quite similar to his previous one. Rentt wonders if she is concerned about him, and she explains that a few days ago, they lost an adventurer named Rentt as well. Rentt is astonished and asks if she means Rentt Faina. Sheila is surprised he knows him and reveals that Rina informed her. Sheila then mentions that Rentt Vivi's family name is the same as Rina's, and she asks if he is related to Lady Rina. Rentt confirms it, mentioning he is currently staying with her. Sheila acknowledges hearing about it and notes that the news is already spreading. She thought Rentt Vivi might be the same as Rentt Faina since they share a similar name. Rentt realizes it was a wise decision not to tell her about his relation to Rina, wanting to avoid rumors. He also acknowledges that the name Rentt is quite common, and adventurers with unique appearances are not. Sheila asks him to wait while she finishes the paperwork. Rentt reflects on the decision to inform her of being Rina's relative. He doesn't want unnecessary rumors circulating about her. Sheila returns, hands him his card, and reminds him that the most important thing is his life. Rentt thanks her and takes the card, officially becoming an iron-ranked adventurer, and then leaves the guild. After that, Rentt finds himself in the labyrinth and is surprised by a strange sound. He discovers a group of children fighting a small imp. Rentt realizes that they are novice adventurers, likely undergoing spiritual training. Despite their young age, he observes their good cooperation and decides they will be fine. He leaves them and thinks to himself that he used to guide newcomers in the past, but with his current appearance, he might only scare them. Rentt quickly heads to another location in the maze, acknowledging that valuable information about mazes can be exchanged for money. He plans to explore a new area and report back to increase his achievements. As he stands in a new and peculiar place, surrounded by numerous books and items, he notices a skeletal structure running on a bed. He wonders if people once lived in this part of the maze. Suddenly, he hears a girl's voice asking him what he's doing there. Rentt, tense, hesitates to respond. The girl repeats her question, asking what he's up to. Rentt stammers, explaining that he was just searching the area to see if there was anything valuable. He emphasizes that he's an adventurer. The intimidating girl assumes he's a thief, asserting her boundaries and warning him that he'll die in this place if he crosses them. She then uses a powerful spell to strike him with a fiery sphere, causing him to fall and sustain a serious injury. Rentt tries to stand up, but the girl is astonished by his strange body. She accuses him of being the cause of his peculiar form, but Rentt protests, stating that he didn't choose this body. The girl, still skeptical, is taken aback by his appearance. Rentt reassures her that he means no harm, and he is not responsible for his current state. At that moment, the girl lowers her hand from the attack and apologizes for the misunderstanding. She approaches Rentt, expressing regret for almost killing him and acknowledges the misconception. She then removes her cloak, telling him that she's unsure if it will compensate him, but gives it to him, stating they will be equals. Rentt, in his thoughts, notes her recent statement about the misunderstanding, wondering if it means she abandoned the idea of killing him. The girl informs him that the place is crucial for her and asks him to keep it a secret. She assures him that no one can enter without him, but she acknowledges that adventurers should not return empty-handed. To maintain a balance, she gives him the magical map of Acacia, an enchanted tool that automatically records the rooms he passes in the labyrinth. The girl then uses her magic to transport him to another location in the maze. After finding his way back home, Rina notices the map and questions if he is cursed or encountering strange things. Rentt reassures her, explaining that he did not choose this path but is dealing with unexpected events. He shows her the magical map, and when he attempts to use his magic on it, it doesn't respond. Rina understands, and Rentt realizes that the tool is safe. He decides to test it by casting a spell on the map. Surprisingly, the map reacts, displaying the reflected moon labyrinth, the same maze he was in a moment ago. Rentt concludes that the magical map is secure and can be used without any curses or issues. Rina is astonished by the magical map, and suddenly she notices two marks pointing to the locations of two people. The names Rise and Laura appear on the map, indicating the presence of these adventurers. Rentt informs Rina that he encountered them recently in the labyrinth. Rina is surprised that the map displays the names and locations of people in the maze, considering it a frightening ability. She requests Rentt to reveal the map of other mazes. Rentt tries to display the crescent maze, but the map only shows areas he has explored before. He recalls the girl's explanation that the map automatically records the regions the owner traverses. Rina examines Rentt's cloak, and he asks her to check if it is cursed. She assures him that it seems fine and is likely resistant to magic. Rina expresses her belief that the cloak has high protective abilities. Rentt is relieved and happy with the benefits of the deal. However, Rina redirects his attention, questioning the identity of the girl who almost killed him. Rentt admits he knows nothing about her, only that she possessed immense strength. Rina suggests there might be a technique allowing someone to create a living space within the maze. Despite Rina's warning, Rentt decides to visit the girl again. Rina advises against it, but Rentt is determined to have another conversation with her. As he walks through the maze, he encounters a skeletal structure, recalling Rina's words about the curse. The memory of the day he discovered the secret area in the maze and encountered the dragon, leading to his transformation into an immortal monster, crosses his mind. After being trapped in the cursed mask, Rentt believes people consider him unlucky, but he disagrees. He sees his increasing strength as he faces powerful monsters and solves more puzzles. Despite the rumors of being jinxed, he feels a sense of adventure comparable to someone in the mythril rank. As Rentt wanders inside the demise, he realizes that the entrance he used to have is no longer there. Perplexed, he checks his map, but it seems unresponsive, making him suspect that it no longer wants him to come. The scene shifts to the Adventurers Guild, where a receptionist discusses Rentt's positive efforts with another adventurer. The adventurer inquires about Rentt, and the receptionist mentions that he might be on a guard mission or something similar, concerned for Rentt's well-being. The adventurer asks the receptionist to inform him if she hears any news. The receptionist recalls when Rentt expressed his willingness to do anything to attain the mythril rank. However, she is startled when Rentt appears behind her. He apologizes and asks her to assign him a mission. The receptionist, worried about the difficulty, hands him a task to collect the flesh of 3 ghasts, powerful monsters. Rentt insists that he can handle it, having fought them before. Despite her concerns, the receptionist advises him against taking such a challenging mission at his current iron rank. Rentt, confident in his abilities, assures her that he can accomplish the task. The receptionist agrees, emphasizing that he should not push himself to the point of impossibility and escape if he finds himself in a dire situation. Rentt acknowledges the value of his life and promises to preserve it. The episode concludes with the anticipation of more thrilling and suspenseful episodes. At the start of the episode, Lorraine suggests that he change his name. Not only does this get him away from the suspicious eyes, but he also has to start over. As long as Rentt has an iron level like a newborn, he doesn't mind. In the end, he will be a mythril rank adventurer. The most important dream he has is to kill the 3 orcs that Sheila gave him. She is shocked that he has already done this. It's hard for iron level to kill 3 orcs at the same time. Adventurers, but Rentt has already done this job easily. So adventurers and those around him look at him with wide eyes. Sheila sees that he could do a lot of things, so she tells him to wait a minute. In the meantime, she went inside to talk to someone higher up. He is allowed to take the bronze level test because she talked to them and got their permission, which is what the law says. Iron level beginners aren't allowed to take part, but Sheila knows he can do it, so she does it without any trouble to test him. He has been told to rest. How can renters miss such a great chance without wasting a single second? Second, he says yes. Then he moves in with Lorraine and tells her the most important news. She's also happy now. He is powerful, so she knows he can do anything. Putting this aside for a moment, she asks him his name, which he told the guild. When Rentt talks about Rentt Faina, she starts to cough. Even the tea that fell on the floor is being drunk by her. People avoid her because Rentt has taken the name of her family. The thing that made her wonder, but Rentt gives her a good answer. He has taken on her name so that no one can speak badly about her, and many people may wonder why he is living with them and point the finger at her character. But he has taken away their doubts because he is family to her. Lorraine gets a pretty smile on her face as she listens to this. She had no idea that Rentt really cared about her. Also, she doesn't care what other people think of her. She is very smart and skilled, but she can't have a high rank in the capital, so why should she depend on them? Also, he owes her rent because she let him live there. If she doesn't, then his identity can be found out. She is a big part of his success, but Lorraine doesn't think she has to do much for Rentt yet since he still does her chores around the house. Rentt is grateful for her. Lorraine gives him confidence by telling him that he has introduced himself as a family member, so it doesn't matter if she lets him live in her house, and she doesn't mind if he stays here his whole life. The Rentt can't go anywhere, so it's the best place for him to hide who he really is. The next day, Rentt shows up at the Adventurer Guild. On his first day, other adventurers are shocked to see him. He amazed everyone with how smart and skilled he was. Even Sheila is still deciding if he will be here when she wants him to be. He still needs to study for his next tests, but this one is next month, so he is ready for the bronze level test. He can take the test since he has passed all the skills tests, without a doubt. A test guide shows up and asks them if they need to pass 2 types of tests. The first test will test their knowledge as an adventurer. They should know a lot about this. Rentt already knows it and is ready for it. The guild will give more information about the next test after the written or oral test is over. Rentt was about to give a written test. He went to the center for the written test. He has Ola following him because she is a part of it. Rentt looked around the class while he was writing and saw a lot of adventurers. Lola, whom he had seen before in the labyrinth, caught his eye. He is also inspired by how Lola and Ray work together. He has grasped. Ray will also be there when she gets here. He is giving an oral exam because Ray needs to see how well he can write compared to him. Rentt knows a lot about a lot of things because he wants to be an adventurer and has spent all his time learning about herbs and other things. In addition, this test was very easy for him because the questions were too simple. Rentt had already taken and passed this test after the exams. He hears from Sheila that he got great grades. Some people can only get that kind of mark, and Rentt doesn't care about his compliments and instead asks about his practical exam. This information will be led by the teacher. She can only say that he has partners named Lola and Ray. They start to talk to each other. Ray can use spirit and power with her sword, and Lola is a mage who can heal them and watch over them from behind. The teacher tells them something new, and Rentt knows they will be a great team. They need to go to the New Moon's maze. Plus, they are given a map and are told to look for a cross. To get to the goal, they have to get there first. The person who does it first will get a reward, and there are no rules about how to pass the test. The trouble is that they all have to do the same thing. This means that the tasks will be hard because everyone will do their best to get to the top using the carriage they are on. Meager's moon and the moons of other participants have moved forward. asked if they had been there before. And luckily, they've been here before, but they haven't had a chance to go deep. Now, they're going to use this chance to follow the map though. Ray took a step forward, the order stopped him. They're not going to use this map. The date this map was prepared is 15 years ago, which shows that it is not accurate, but the guild gave them the map. Then how do they do that? In the game mind, the guild gave them a map to see how smart they are, and Rentt has already figured out what's wrong. How can GB be so innocent when the carriage is given to get to the place? There's something wrong. At that point, he understood that Ray had told him to keep his eyes and ears open. Right at that moment, Rentt goes to a nearby shop and asks about the newest map. For 5 coins, they get the map, which shows obstacles and traps. They can get to their destination and are free, but guild led them astray. Owners of shops are impressed by Rentt's knowledge and wisdom. He tells them they need to stay with him through the labyrinth if they want to pass the test. They came across some skeletons and pulled out their swords, hitting Ray and Lola and knocking them down. They both use their power to get rid of them, and Rentt doesn't worry about them either because he knows they can handle them. Because they are strong and capable at such a young age, the skeletons have avoided them. When one of them gets too strong for R, he hits it in the head with his sword. He also teaches him something else. By getting ahead a few steps, an adventurer never lets down his guard. Rentt soon learned something was wrong. He knows what the issue is. He found a sheet of powder that monsters can also be called through. He knows that monsters can't do this because they don't have the brains to, now which means people are to blame. Since the guild told them they could do anything, they are doing this bad thing. Because they have to knock people down to pass the test by motivating them, they are scared to death. As he planned, he moves forward and takes slow, steady steps. People are ready to knock him down, but Rentt is ready and blocks his attack with his sword. Lola and Ray are fighting 2 more people when Ray shows he is strong. Lola helps him and knocks him down with her power. On the other hand, Rentt beat them up badly with his punches and sword. It was a great example of working together. Lola and Ray have bound and forced their enemies to kneel, so they can't do anything else. Rentt tells them to be careful, because monsters aren't the only ones who are after them. People who admire his skills have also turned into tough competitors, and Brain Ray has decided to follow him. Lola is shocked because Ray never thinks of anyone else as his leader. They move forward, but Rentt stops for a while. He tells the adventurer who is hidden to take care of his friends. The man who is hidden is shocked. Even though it's dark everywhere, how could he know he was there? He unlocked them and felt like he had met someone like them before. Besides that, he likes the Rentt. Sheila, on the other hand, is standing in front of the guild master and politely asks why you called him. It seems fishy that the guild master already knows about the Rentt and what makes someone different if they show up with a scratch. He doesn't have a history either, and he looks suspicious, but Sheila still couldn't doubt him. There's nothing she can do to hurt the boss. His boss tells him to find out more about Rentt. If she finds something fishy, she needs to tell him about it. Everyone has a past that they want to talk about. At this point, Sheila has no choice but to say yes because Ray told him to keep their eyes and ears open. Besides that, they're in front of the boss's door. This door will lead them to the biggest monster. Ray, who never gets into a fight with the boss, wants to know more. How does an iron work? Rentt is encouraging him to have an adventurous fight with the boss, but Ray is still nervous. At the same time, his rival shows up and starts making fun of them. They treat them like kids and think Masked Man is nothing compared to them. When they see how beautiful Lola is, they invite her to join them. But Ray protects her and tells them to leave because they got there first, just as their enemy is about to attack. Rentt then puts his sword around his neck and looks at it. He is scared because this man in the mask could do anything. They are told to stay within their limits by Rentt, and he has been given permission to get inside. They've moved in, which makes Ray happy. How could he let them lose if they had won first? But Rentt is busy with something else today. Even though Lola already knew, Iwa's mind has something else come to it. He might be trying to get them to look inside and see what's going on. When they do, they'll hear the yelling and get hurt. Now that 2 guys with friends come out, Rentt knows that they won't die in this fight. Ray has started to think about this, and now all they need is to get them ready for a fight. He has to work hard to become an adventurer and can't let down his guard. If he fails, he will get hurt, so he has no choice but to give it a try and give up hope. In addition, he asks Lola, and Lola can't leave him alone, whether she's following him or not. Along with a smile, she gives them a good response. Most of them leave the fight by scaring the boss, but they are ready to face the boss, who is much stronger than their imagination. After that, they walk over to face the boss. Our episode today starts with Riz asking Rentt to show them how to fight the monster leader. Ren replies that it's just a part of the whole thing, and then they see a group of people escaping from the demise. Ren informs them that even if they lose, they won't die, as there's no shame in avoiding a battle they can't win. Rise tells them that if they flee now, they'll never return and won't become true adventurers. Laura is surprised by his words, and Ren asks them to make their decision. We see the three heroes entering through the gate, and as they walk, a huge slime appears in front of them. Rise and Laura prepare to fight it, but Ren tells them that defeating the leader in this exam isn't necessary. He hopes that other examiners will defeat it for them, but facing challenges in life is important. Rise fights the slime, and Laura prepares to fight it too. Ren advises her to focus on enhancing her magic, as he believes they can defeat the slime with magic. He reminds them that physical attacks have no effect on the slime, and they'll need magic to win. Laura confirms he can use powerful fire magic, but it requires time to activate. Ren assures her he'll defend against the slime's attacks while she casts the spell. Rise asks if he can perform the attack, then we return to reality. Rise continues attacking the large slime, while Laura asks Ren to help Rise and assures him she'll be fine alone. Ren joins Rise in attacking the slime while Laura finishes casting the spell and unleashes a great blaze, defeating the slime. They succeed in defeating the monster leader, and Ren tells them that slime fluids have many benefits. He suggests they collect some and even share the money among them, as each will receive at least some silver. They all gather slime fluid, but suddenly 3 people appear and release a sleeping gas. Ren explains that people often lose their caution when they're close to the goal, falling into traps like this. Laura then tells them that reaching the goal first doesn't necessarily mean success in the exam, as the guild hasn't said a word about it. She remembers the guildmaster telling them that their task is to reach the designated point on their map, and the first team to arrive there will receive rewards commensurate with their efforts. Back in reality, Laura informs them that they made it seem like a race, which is why Ren didn't object to the other team going ahead of them, even when they were in front of the monster leader's room. Ren then explains that the sole duty of an adventurer is to complete the assigned task before the specified time, so one cannot be a true adventurer unless they think about it themselves. They enter the room and the man congratulates them for being the first to arrive. Laura asks him to show them proof that he's from the guild, and he provides them with something that proves his affiliation. He then searches in his bag and gives them 3 necklaces or tokens, instructing them to present them to the reception desk at the guild. Once they do that, they'll become adventurers of the bronze rank. Rise takes hold of them and admires them, then asks about the additional reward they mentioned. The official informs them that the first 3 teams will receive a small reward, then gives them potions and a bag each. Rise is ecstatic because he wanted one of those bags. Ren then suggests an idea to them. He's thinking of going on a small trip before they return to the guild. The scene shifts as they descend to the 2nd floor, but they're not sure about it as mazes exceed human comprehension, much like the tunnels in Gaza. As the scene finally transitions to when they arrive at this place, everyone is amazed by the sun. Laura tells them she heard that each floor is completely different from the others, and they're all astonished by the beauty of this great world. Rise expresses his desire to go on a tour in this amazing place, but Ren tells them it's not a good idea because the exam won't end until they return safely and successfully. The scene then shifts to this place when they finally arrive, as it's been a long time since anyone was last here, with traps along the way making it very difficult. Ren emphasizes the need for caution in this guild because it's very deceptive and they don't want anyone to deceive them. Then they are given the 3 tokens and the guild attendant congratulates them, indicating that the bronze rank exam is over. Rise asks what this means and the guild attendant hesitates to respond. Then the boy comes to her and hands her a report to read to them. Rise is puzzled and Ren tells them that the boy has been observing them throughout the exam period. The boy confirms this and tells them that they were being tested on their abilities and personalities. He reassures them that they passed the test without any problems. The guild attendant then smiles lightly and congratulates them for becoming bronze rank adventurers. Rise and Laura are overjoyed that they have become so, experiencing true happiness. Then Ren thanks them for accompanying him today, but Rise says it's they who should thank him. They've become true adventurers thanks to him, and they've learned a lot from him, but they want to see him many more times after that. Laura then speaks to him, expressing her desire for him to continue going on adventures with them, though she knows it's impossible. As they leave the place, the guild attendant speaks to Ren, saying that they are both good kids. Ren acknowledges her words, feeling like he's their father figure. Then, the guild attendant calls out to him, apologizing for making a request while he's tired but expressing confidence that he's smart enough to know what she wants to know. Ren starts talking to himself, thinking she knows who he really is. She then asks if the guild intends to punish him for what he did, referring to his falsified identity to avoid people realizing what happened to him. However, the guild attendant tells him she's the one asking questions, but Ren makes a decision and tells her that in that case, before she says anything, he will withdraw and never return to the guild. He starts to leave, but Sheila grabs him by his clothes, insisting she wants to know exactly what happened to him. Sheila asks Ren what exactly happened to him, but he doesn't respond. She then takes him to this house where there's no one around so they can talk comfortably without anyone seeing or hearing them, then confesses that he considered running away but couldn't because her voice sounded genuinely concerned for her old friend. He tells her he's dealing with a big problem now and doesn't want anyone, including the guild, to get involved. Sheila reassures him that she hasn't informed the guild about him yet because she wasn't sure about what she heard. She wanted to see the truth for herself more than anything else. She tells him she only told the man who was observing him during the exam a little of what she knew. The man Sheila referred to is actually her brother, so he can keep this secret. She asks him to tell her what happened, but Ren doesn't respond. She acknowledges that it's hard for him to trust her, so she brought him this magical contract and doesn't understand what Sheila's doing. So she explains that if the contract is violated, meaning if she reveals his secret, she'll suffer a punishment backed by magical force. She'll leave the guild and travel to a country where slavery is legal, transferring ownership to someone else. Ren refuses, finding this too extreme. He asks her why she's going to such lengths, and she responds that she wants to help him, not because she's part of the guild, but because she owes him a lot. Ren agrees to sign the contract and promises to tell her what happened. Ren indeed signs the contract and asks her where he should start. He thinks it would be quickest to show her, so he removes the cover over his head, shocking Sheila with his terrifying appearance. Ren realizes she regrets asking, but Sheila reassures him she never regretted it. She prefers knowing what happened to him if he's suffering this much. Ren tells her he feels like he's dead inside. Sheila feels deeply saddened by his words, so Ren asks her to reconsider before answering. Then Ren asks if she can actually help him, as he has no intention of hurting anyone. But this question is different from whether she trusts him or not. He leaves her to go, but she asks him to wait, as she believes him. But she believes he's a monster now. Then she reassures him and asks him to inform her if anything happens between him and the guild. She promises to help him no matter what. The scene shifts to Lauren's house, and she is very surprised to see them. Sheila apologizes for coming at such a late hour, but she insisted on coming to talk to her. Lauren responds, saying she is indeed a rare guest. She talks to Ren, telling him not to tell her he was fooling around. Sheila denies it, saying she learned a lot about him. Lauren responds, saying she can come in, but she's afraid the place isn't very clean. Ren assures her he cleaned it before leaving. Then Lauren speaks, saying, "I suppose I have to ask, how much do you know?" Sheila replies that Ren told her he's a monster but won't harm anyone. Lauren is surprised, saying she told her everything, yet she came all this way. She accuses Sheila of being incredibly naive. Sheila asks what she means, and Lauren tells her to think about it. Ren is dead alive, and she's a suspicious academic. What would a girl like her be doing, bringing a witch and a monster to her house? Usually, you'd expect her to throw her into a boiling pot and end up in her stomach. Sheila laughs and tells her she's not a witch. Everyone knows she's a brilliant researcher. In reality, what she loves is going out at night in pursuit of young virgin blood. It makes her skin much prettier. The guild employee doesn't believe her, so Lauren tells her that's what happened to Ren now. The guild employee is surprised and saddened by this, telling Lauren she knows about it. Then Lauren tells her she's not saying that because she's mean, and it's too late to have dinner together. Then Renato prepares dinner, and they both eat the food, finding it very delicious. The guild employee thanks Renato for the wonderful meal, saying she heard he's a skilled cook, and it seems everyone who said that about him was right. Renato tells her he learned that in his village. Lauren tells him it's helpful to have him around, and that he's willing to do all the household chores as well. Hinting at the blood-filled bottle as his current payment, Renato takes it and drips a drop of blood onto his finger, consuming it. The guild employee recognizes him as a Chikchi, a low-level vampire. Lauren says she heard they signed a magical contract, and Renato confirms, saying she didn't share his true nature with anyone. The guild employee tells them they're starting to attract attention lately, as many novice adventurers are currently missing throughout the kingdom. Lauren asks if they were killed by monsters, to which the guild employee responds that if that were the case, their belongings would be left behind. However, the guild assumes it's a series of kidnappings since there's no trace of them or their belongings. Loren understands they're suspicious of Renato because he stands out significantly, besides being extremely talented. He certainly doesn't behave like a novice. The guild employee mentions that some people spread rumors about him out of jealousy, but that's not a good thing, and he's in a delicate situation now. Then Renato tells them that if the situation is like this, he can stop visiting the maze for some time. They ask him how many days he means by some time, and he tells them 3 or 4 days or something similar. On the other hand, we go to the Adventurers Guild and see Reyes and Laura hoping for someone good like Renato to join them. Reyes says once we form a team, we'll go down to the 2nd floor again. Laura tells him we couldn't go anywhere else last time, so let's fight many monsters afterward. The master comes out and tells all the beginners to work hard always to reach high ranks. Then the guild employee tells him that she heard Renato also passed the exam. The guildmaster talks about Renato, wondering what happened to him. He had intended to recruit him into the guild after he retired. But suddenly, he tells her that one of the new kids is in trouble and asks her to see what's happening with him. She leaves and tells him, "Oh guild leader, the other Renato is also an amazing adventurer." And with that, our episode ends today. Stay tuned for more episodes of this wonderful anime, but please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all updates. The week begins in this anime with Lauren sleeping, and when Rentt leaves the house, her eyes open. He is supposed to return to the maze today, but it is not supposed to happen until the issue of abductions calms down. So he decides to take the day off, but that seems impossible for him. Then we see Rentt training in sword fighting, and the blacksmith informs him about modifications he made to the sword, giving it the ability to use magical and holy spiritual energies. Rentt starts using magic with his sword, breaking a piece of wood, surprising the blacksmith with his strength. The blacksmith tells Rentt that his magical power is much stronger than expected. Rentt speaks to himself, realizing that all he can do is forcefully infuse his power into the sword. But he still has a certain degree of control over his spiritual energy. He breaks more wood and uses holy power, turning the sword into a green glow, realizing its incredible strength. Rentt learns that the sword is powerful and unaffected by mixing it with holy power. The blacksmith takes a broken piece of wood, and Rentt asks about the small plants growing on it, wondering if it's the effect of holy power. Rentt asks how he can use holy power, and the blacksmith tells him to keep the broken wood with the plants. Rentt then asks if he can train more, and the blacksmith inquires about his plans. Rentt wants to try combining all powers at once. The blacksmith mentions the rumors of combining magical and spiritual power, warning Rentt about the risk of his body exploding if he fails. Rentt decides to try it, thinking that even if he explodes, his powerful body won't die easily. The blacksmith gives him the sword, assuring him it can handle holy power, though it's cheaper than a new one. Rentt takes the sword and mixes it first with magical power, then with spiritual power. Then Rentt feels that it is very difficult, as if he is trying to force everything into a pre-filled box and cannot continue. He hits the wood, shattering it, and the blacksmith asks if he added holy power just now, warning him that it is very dangerous. Rentt assures him that he did and starts using magic, screaming in pain. The sword starts cracking and suddenly transforms into a small sphere. Rentt apologizes to the blacksmith, who explains that holy power has the ability to cleanse impurity and restore materials to their original state, so it can't be used with a regular weapon. The blacksmith mentions that he made the new weapon for Rentt to withstand holy power, but it won't handle what he just did. Rentt realizes that he can only mix magical and spiritual power. Rentt asks the blacksmith what he would do if he encounters an enemy that he can't defeat with these powers alone. The blacksmith asks if Rentt wants him to make a set of swords for him to carry everywhere, but Rentt admits he doesn't have enough money for that. The scene shifts to Rentt walking on the road, talking to himself about needing good weapons to become a mithril-class adventurer and make a lot of money. Suddenly, he hears a commotion and sees the guard standing with a boy named Ryantos. The guard refuses a mission not from the guild, and Ryantos pleads with him. Rentt intervenes, and the guard, surprised by Rentt's appearance, lets him talk to Ryantos alone. Rentt offers money to the guard, who takes it and leaves. Rentt approaches Ryantos and learns that he is an adventurer from the village of Tosu, several days east. Rentt mentions hearing about the village having a strange festival. Ryantos tells him about a legend that says they offered a beautiful girl, imbued with magical power, as a sacrifice to the Lake Lord in exchange for saving the village. Rentt, intrigued, accepts the mission to defeat the Lake Lord. The scene transitions to Rentt riding a carriage with Ryantos, and Rentt comments on the chaos of both the reward and the mission itself being full of problems. Upon arriving at Lauren's house, Reintos informs Rentt that Totsu village is a few days to the east, and Rentt mentions hearing that the village has a peculiar festival. Reintos reveals a legend about offering a magically imbued girl as a sacrifice to the Lake Lord to save the village. They still celebrate the festival once a year as a commemoration of that day, hoping that the Lord of the Lake will forgive them. However, in the past year, the lake monster actually appeared and devoured the girl playing the role of the sacrifice. Not only that, Rento, but it also started demanding more sacrifices. Several girls from the village have already died, so I ask for your help in our plight. The next sacrifice is my little sister. Repame expresses surprise and says to him, "All right, Renotus, I will help you calm your fears." While on their way, Rento speaks to his friend, saying, Renotus wants to save his sister, not kill the monster. There's no need to fight the Lord of the Lake, but I have a strange feeling about this. Who is the Lord of the Lake, and is it real? Finally, the scene shifts as Rengo and Rentos reach the village. It is now a quiet village, once lively but now exhausted and fearful due to the appearance of the lake monster. Everyone is scared and shuts their doors when they see strangers. As they walk, they notice a mark on the door, an X sign. Rento asks about it, and Renotus explains that it indicates the house offering their daughter as a sacrifice to the Lord of the Lake. Rito inquires if the Lord of the Lake placed the mark, but Renotus informs him that no one has seen the Lord as he resides deep in the lake, likely using one of the powerful dog-like monsters to search. Rento is amazed because these monsters are extremely powerful. Amris, Renotus' sister, opens the door and informs them that a high-ranking adventurer, a bronze class, has come to help. Amores gets angry and drags him inside, closing the door on Rento's face, starting a quarrel with her brother. She tells him, "I've told you several times not to talk to strangers when you go to the city," but he informs her that Mr. Rento is kind. However, she insists that he is deceiving him because of his strange appearance. We then see Rento listening to everything. After transforming into a monster, all his senses, especially hearing, become heightened. Amris opens the door and says, "Are you the adventurer Rentt? I thank you for listening to my foolish brother, but the festival in the village of Tatsu is an ancient one, and I will not apologize for it. I will perform my duty as a sacrifice, so forget what he asked of you and leave here, please." Rento tells her that Rentus is his friend and the only one who can make him leave. Rentus informs them that he won't withdraw his request as he wants to save his sister. Rentt tells them, "Okay, if you want to stay, then stay in our house, but please don't interfere with the festival. I'm happy to be the sacrifice." Rentos apologizes for his sister's stubbornness, explaining she is a stubborn girl. The festival is tomorrow night, and Rentt informs Rentus that it seems she has no intention of escaping, making the situation very dangerous. Rentus turns to Rentt and says, "Help me, please. If there's any chance to save my sister, I'll do anything for her." The scene shifts to the next morning as Rentt walks around the village, gathering information. Meanwhile, children buy some dried fruits from the vendors. They couldn't sell anything because no one came, so the children were very happy and took dried fruits from the vendors. At that moment, Rento approached the merchants and asked them about something, but the merchant didn't respond since it was the first time seeing him in the village. He then asked if he came for the festival, and Rento confirmed it. The merchant advised him to leave because the Lake Lord is angry, and there are better things for villagers to do than buying his goods. Rentus came to him and informed Rento that lunch is now ready. Rento went with him, and Rentus asked if he looked at the lake, to which Rento confirmed. He then inquired about the traders and if they often come to the village. Rentus answered that yes, they come here frequently, and it's a kindness from them. At sunset, we see Amiris and her family preparing for her sacrifice to the Lake Lord. Her grandmother apologizes to her as they are about to abandon her. Amiris replies that she is very happy because the Lake Lord chose her. Her grandmother thought that Rentus, her brother, would escape with her, as he used to tell everyone in the village to cancel the festival. Amiris is afraid that if he does so, it will anger the Lake Lord and cause the destruction of the village. Her grandmother reassures her, saying her brother was desperate and worried about her and the village's future. The scene transitions to the night, where we see Amiris sitting alone in her room. Rento comes to her and asks to talk, but she refuses to let him enter her room. The sacrifice has to be alone, so Rento agrees not to enter and talks to her from where he is. He has a plan to escape, and she needs to resist to survive. "So you must resist as well?" Amiris asks. "Humans can't defeat the Lake Lord," Rito responds. "Rentus and I will take care of the Lake Lord. Don't do anything that might sadden your brother. He's the only one left for you from your family. So resist as long as there's hope." That's all I wanted to say. He leaves and the scene transitions to the lake. At the lake, a man speaks, "O Lake Lord, who protects us from the depths of the lake. We offer our sacrifice each time, leaving horns at our doors, treasures, and also our daughters. When the azure light guides us, protect us from disaster." The man tells Amiris that they do this to save the village, and she must do her duty. Afterwards, Rento and Rentis set out in a boat. Rento asks Amiris if she's ready, and she answers yes. They embark on the sea, and Rentis remarks about the dense fog. Rento responds yes, it appeared at the right time. Rentis mentions his difficulty in seeing, and Rento assures him they'll navigate. Amiris holds a ball emitting a light, and Rento remarks that it seems their lord has decided to appear. Suddenly, a large monster emerges, astonishing them all. Amiris speaks to it, directing the ball toward it, pleading, "Calm your anger, protect the village, please be searched, repation." Rento comments that it's futile, but Amiris insists she'll sacrifice herself. Rento throws the ball into the lake, calling it a mere beacon, instructing Amiris to stay on the boat. Rento then uses his magic, floating above the water. Amiris is amazed, and Rento reveals he has an alchemical friend. Then Rento draws his sword to reveal the true identity of the Lake Lord. As Rento floats on the water, the monster strikes at him with fireballs, which Rento manages to evade. He runs on the water, surprising everyone as such monsters are usually found in the ocean and don't breathe fire. The monster repeatedly attacks him with fireballs, but Rento easily deflects them with his sword. Suddenly, he jumps and finds a ship where the merchant is present, having cast a spell, creating an illusion amidst the fog, making him appear as a large monster. The merchant tells Rento that if he had left, he would have lost his life. Rento expresses disbelief that the Lake Lord was just a wandering, ugly merchant. He then faces the attacks of the evil man's followers, but easily defeats them all. Afterward, Rento and his sister arrive, surprised to find the ship there. Rento reassures them that everything is fine. With dawn approaching, they tie up all those merchants who pretended to be the Lake Lord and demanded sacrifices. Amiris asks Rento if he realized it from the beginning, to which he responds that he found it suspicious that a revered monster suddenly loses control. Rento then interrogates the village chief about the whereabouts of the other girls. Threateningly, he tells them to speak quickly. They confess they were going to sell them for a rebellion in a foreign land, and they're all alive, kept in a small hut on the other side of the lake. They prepare carts to reach these girls. Rento and Amiris thank the young man profusely and inform him that they will hold the festival again. Rento apologizes to them for what awaits him in Malt and thanks Rentis, who vows never to forget how he saved the village and his sister. Amiris expresses her deep gratitude and hugs him, thanking him for everything he has done for her. Then Rento leaves, saying to himself that the kidnappers didn't take anyone except the girls, indicating a connection to the recent abductions mentioned by Sheila. He then arrives at Lawrence and recounts everything that happened, how the village and the girls were saved, all thanks to the magical ability he was taught, floating on water, which proved very useful for him. Lauren expresses her wish to see the Lake Lord if he were real. And so, our episode ends today. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and enable notifications to receive all the latest updates. The episode starts when he and Rento got to the academy. He looked at the requests written on the board, which is where the episode starts. Even though the rewards aren't great, Rentt knows that adventurers don't do it for the money. Adventurers take on requests to help people whose requests usually won't be accepted, but the guild does. Sheila asks Rentt if he's interested in any of the requests, but he tells her he's going to keep his word and not go to any more labyrinths anytime soon. Sheila told him she could help him find a request he can easily finish, and he wants to know if anyone has taken up the request for the bronze coin. He hears from Sheila. He knows that the job is to gather dragon blood blossoms, which is a pretty hard task. There is a story about how this plant got its name because it grows near a poisonous swamp. When a dragon fell in love with a girl, its blood turned into a red flower, which gave the plant its name. What it's called. Rentt doesn't like the story's background, but Sheila tells him there are rumors that girls will love whoever gives them the flower forever. Rentt asks if the plant can be used as medicine, and Sheila tells him that the client plans to do just that. The kids in an orphanage made the request. They said they needed to plant to save someone important to them. Rentt agrees to do what Sheila asks, which surprises her. He didn't think the orphanage would be as broken down as it is when Rentt got there. He tries to knock on the door, but the knocker falls off. He uses slime fluid to try to glue it back on the door. He thinks about using the knockers again, but decides to knock with his knuckles instead. A little girl answers the door and thinks he is a debt collector. She tells him their boss. Lillian isn't at the orphanage right now, so she tells Rentt that he'll have to come back another day. but she stops talking to finish looking up at Rentt's face. Rentt tells her that he is an adventurer who took up their request from the guild. The girl says she's sorry for being wrong and leads him into the orphanage, where the kids are confused about who he is. The girl tells everyone that he's an adventurer and everyone runs up to greet him. While they ask him different things, the girl warns them not to approach adventurers without being careful because they are dangerous. They tell her they're sorry for what they did. Rentt tells her, even though she didn't call him a dangerous adventurer, he's glad she did because adventurers can be dangerous. He informs her she's right to be wary of dangerous adventurers because there are some out there. He tells the kids not to talk to any adventurer who looks sketchy, and they listen to him. Hart is glad they are honest, which shows how happy they are at the orphanage. She tells him Lillian is a great person who treats them well. Rentt tells her she doesn't need to be nice to him because he doesn't mind. She worries that he'll be mad at her later, but he assures her that he won't. He introduces himself as a bronze rank adventurer, which surprises her because she thought that only an iron rank adventurer would agree to their request. Rentt realizes she knows a lot about adventurers, which makes him wonder if she called for them. He asks her who put it up, and she tells him her name. Rentt then decides to talk to her about the request he makes. It's not easy to get the plant. He hears from Ellie's. They don't sell the plant very often, and when they do, they charge a lot for it. She tells him she really needs the plant, and he asks for more information. He doesn't get what she means when she says she needs him to play along. Lillian says she's sorry for how messy her room is when she takes him into her room. After introducing herself as the priestess of the Church of the Eastern Sky, she tells him that she runs the orphanage. Rentt introduces himself to her, and she says she's sorry for the small reward on the request. Because monsters spawn in the cellar, she can't get the kids to clean it, so she thanks him for taking the job. She then starts coughing, and Lies tells her to get some rest while she fills in for Rentt. The rest of the story is that they leave the room, and Elias tells Rentt the name for Lillian's illness is accumulated malice disease. He hears her. Leland has divinity powers, but she hurts her body every time she uses them because she isn't strong enough. Rentt didn't know that they had to meet that condition. Elias tells him that a healer saw Lillian and told in order to get better she would need a saint's purific or a certain medicine. Rentt now knows that the medicine can't be made without the dragon blood blossom. Rentt knows that Lillian. Elias tells him that if she knew she would have another priest take over her job, if she knew she was sick. He knows that Leland would be okay with her illness if that happened, so he helps Elias get the plant before that happens. Elias didn't think anyone would agree to her request, so she considered going on an adventure to get the plant herself. Rentt is shocked by this. She tells him she's good at using mana, but he can tell she doesn't have time to train. Rentt says he will get the flower and she thanks him, but first he decides to clean out the cellar. Along with him, Elias goes down into the cellar. He informs her she doesn't have to follow him, but she would like to. To help her protect herself from monsters, he gives her a dagger. Rentt tells her herself. She is shocked to learn that there are monsters in the cellar. These rats are monsters because they are bigger than usual. The leader of the rats tells the other rats to run away as Rentt uses his divinity power. Rentt swats him away when he tries to rush at her. Again, he moves quickly, but this time he bites Rentt's arm. Rentt pulls his arm off and throws him to the ground. The rat's color changes all of a sudden, and Rentt realizes that he has control of the rat. He orders it around, which surprises Ellie. Rentt then takes the rat back with him, and Lorraine is shocked to see a rat sitting on his shoulder. He tells her that the rat is now on his side, and Lorraine realizes that Rentt can make servants manipulative, like a vampire Lorraine. He hadn't thought about giving his blood to living things before. Rentt decides to keep the rat to test this theory, and Lorraine decides to take samples from the rat to pay Rentt. She chooses to test it and watch it for a while. What would the rat eat? It puts its mouth on her finger right away, which tells her it wants her human juice, like how Rentt chooses to call the rat Black, but Lorraine chooses a different name. Edward is right, and the rat agrees with her. Lorraine asks Rentt if it can talk to it, and he tells her that it can. He can only feel how it feels at night. Rentt is antsy because he can't sleep. He considered losing himself in a maze all night, but he knew an adventurer who never stops. What the guild would think is wrong. She comes into the room and gives him food because he has to leave early the next morning. Lorraine tells Rentt that he doesn't respect her enough after he sees her cooking. She tells him that the swamp is dangerous and that Rentt is a surprise. She knows where he's going. He says he has to go there by himself because the poison won't hurt him when she asks. She reminds him that he'll need a group to fight a type of dragon that lives in the swamp. He shows her holy water and tells her he's not going to fight it. Lorraine can remember where he bought something. There are rumors that holy water can keep the monster away, but she tells him that it's not a sure thing. He'll figure something else out if this doesn't work. Rentt eats the food and is surprised at how good it tastes. He hasn't been able to enjoy the taste of food in a while. Lorraine tells him that she added a drop of her human juice to the food. When he comes back, she says she'll make him more. Rentt takes a carriage out to the swamp, and the driver lets Rentt know that they've arrived. The driver tells him when Rentt gets out of the carriage. In the afternoon, he'll come back to pick him up. Rentt walks into the swamp and wonders if Adol can handle the poison. He knows that if poison gets to him, he can use his divinity to clean Adol. This makes him choose not to worry about it. Rentt stays on the path that other adventurers left behind because they didn't want to go into the swamp because it's dangerous. A group of goblins fires arrows at Rentt all of a sudden, but he blocks their shots. He knows that monsters in the real world are a lot stronger than the ones in the labyrinth. Most of the time, these wild monsters attack in groups and know how to use weapons. But Rentt is much stronger and is sure he can beat them. He charges at them and kills a group with a single swing of his sword. With one more hit, he kills the other group and all of the goins. Rentt walks deeper into the swamp. He's glad he's dead because poison can't hurt him. He doesn't mind living without a body for the rest of his life as long as he doesn't mind the wooden path that he has to walk on now. Breaks all of a sudden, and Rentt falls into the poisonous swamp. A swamp shark takes the chance to attack, but he fights them off while the eel watches. The sharks are defeated, and he decides to be more careful from now on. Rentt Pickup Beetle was upset with him for being so careless. Thanks Lorraine for the food. Sheila liked it, and Lorraine says her Rentt said the same thing. Sheila is shocked. Lorraine tells her that Rentt is eating normal food even though he's dead. The juice from her body was mixed with his food. Lorraine was shocked. The guild found out what went on at Todd's village. Sheila lets her know. Lorraine finds out that the villagers thanked the adventurer who helped them, but they wouldn't tell the guild his name. She went straight to Rentt to ask if he was the one who helped the village. Lorraine lets her know he isn't going to tell the truth, because being involved in a kidnapping would make him look even more suspicious. When Sheila asks Lorraine how long she's known about Rentt, she says she's been at it for a long time. For some reason, Rentt wants to be the best adventurer, but not even Lorraine knows what that reason is. Lorraine lets Sheila know. He doesn't like it when people dig up old grudges, so she has never asked him about it. She didn't want to make him answer right away. Lorraine is asked by Sheila if she isn't scared of the scary things he'll find in the swamp. Her friend Sheila tells her not to worry because the guild only gives out requests that are within the range of an adventurer's skills. Rentt was the only one she gave the request to because she was sure he could do it. Lorraine lets her know. The woman is sure of her own judgment and thinks Rentt would be able to get out of trouble. The dragons of the swamp are after Rentt, and he feels bad about buying cheap holy water. When he hits a wall, he chooses to face the monster straight on. When he jumps off a tree to attack the monster, it shoots poison at him. Rentt cuts through the poison, and when he hits the monster with his mana-infused sword, the poison doesn't hurt him. Rentt isn't sure that his mana alone will be enough to beat the monster. He tries to use the mana spirit, fusion move on the monster, but it doesn't work. The monster is hit by Edel, who uses his divinity powers. He is shocked that Edel has these powers. The monster eats up Edel, and Rentt is about to save him when the monster starts to choke and spits out Edel. Rentt catches Edel, and he's glad Edel gave him an idea for how to beat the monster. So he rushes and imbues his sword with divinity. The monster throws more poison globs at him, but he avoids all of them. He hits the monster with his sword and easily beats it. Since he can't dress the monster, because it's too big, he figures out that its weakness is divinity and stores it in his magic. Since Pouch Rentt has so much bad luck, he thought he would have to fight the monster, but he's glad he didn't have to. Edel taught him how to beat the monster, and he decides to go back to the swamp to get some rare materials. When he gets to a big group of dragon blood blossom plants, he can see that their power is cleaning the air around them. He decides to take more than what he came for, but a man comes up behind him and talks to him. It shocks the man to see someone else in the swamp watch. Watch the next video and see you next time. When the episode starts, Rentt has reached his goal and is watching the red blossom dragon. He has decided to bring more than he needs, and Isaac is avoiding him because he is looking at Rentt. It's impossible to imagine this place being more dangerous than what Rentt is doing here. The same question keeps coming to mind. Rentt and Isaac is glad to know for sure. In fact, he has a magic item that counteracts poison, and holy water keeps the trins away from him. It shows that Isaac doesn't have any skills. He's just here with the tools, and on the other hand, is here with his amazing skills and abilities. When Isaac finds out that he is at bronze level, this thing also impresses him. He is shocked for a moment because this is a hard task for someone at the bronze level, but he kept his face straight and went ahead to pick up the flowers. Isaac is only here because his mother told him to, and he can't go against her. Isaac has also seen it. Rentt thinks Rentt is a strong and skilled adventurer, so he wants Rentt to meet his mistress. He is sure that the mistress would love to talk to him and give him something nice. Rentt is agreed upon, and the two leave like old friends. Later, Rentt comes back, and the carriage owner is inspired by him because he came back without hurting anyone. It's almost a miracle that he's a mythical level adventurer and is hiding his real face with a mask. Since the man just got back from the den of death, he is ready to believe anything Rentt says. What's more, this man is willing to give in by keeping everything he has agreed to Shella. She is happy to see that he is not hurt, as she thought he would be. The task was done, but what really shocked her was that he also killed the trays. This is not normal, and she doesn't want to kill the monster. If someone knows about it, they can doubt him, but Rentt wants to take down the monster with him. As he asked, she took him to Dario and told him that Rentt was the one who killed the Trins. He gets motivated after hearing this, which leads him to where he can reveal the monster when Rentt takes it out of the magic bag. The monster is being looked at with wide eyes by everyone. It is a giant monster that was killed with just one hit. It's now Shella's turn to look more closely. He gives Shella another shock by telling her that the monster shell is fine, which doesn't happen very often because adventurers want to protect it at all costs. They scratch the shell, which makes the shell look bruised, but the monster that Rentt brought is fine. Rentt tries to be humble by saying that dealing with this monster is hard, but Dr. Crow knows he's turning humble because dealing with this monster is easy for him. He told Rentt to sell this monster as soon as possible. Dr. Rowe tells him that he will soon have good news for him. He is sad because the orphanage has to wait until late at night to get the flower. Shella believes in him and is with him. The rent has gone up. Rentt knows that she is sure he has reached the silver level. It's not his skills or hard work that deserve credit. He is now stronger because he has turned into a monster, but that is also how he can reach his goal of becoming a mythical level adventurer. But deep down he wants to be human again, but that would take him back to the last 10 years. It doesn't matter at that point. He can only get to the bronze level if he really tries hard. He is sure that turning into a person will keep him from turning into a myth level. The next morning, the adventurer goes to the orphanage and breaks the door handle again, but he knows how to fix it with the liquid. He gets it fixed and opens the door. Ali greets him and is amazed that he brought the dragon flower that is now blooming. She didn't think he'd finish this job so quickly. At that moment, Elias introduces him to Norman, a herbalist, and Tio, a healer. They both praise his skill in getting the flower because they know how hard it is. It's hard for many adventurers to come back, but if Rentt has returned, he can. Cheat Severance, it was Rentt who gave the flower to Ao, who was glad to have it. Lylan can be saved. At the same time, they say that many people need treatment but don't have the money for high-end treatments. Rentt asks if they need more flowers. As he listens, they say they didn't say no because they need more flowers. They don't have to pay rent to get more flowers. They want to find an angel in front of him who only wants to help more people. He doesn't want anything. They are truly moved by his character and owe him a lot, but they have decided that if they have to, they will do anything for Rentt. Eli thanks him for not getting paid for the work. She has decided to become an adventurer like him after seeing how kind he is. It means a lot to her to help people, and she wants to do that. Also, they agreed that she would repay him when she became a famous adventurer. Ito shows up at the same time and whispers in Rentt's ear. Monsters have been taken care of by him. He knows that a monster shows up at her house and tortures them to make them give up. Edel has told his goons to take care of them now. They won't have to worry about their safety there. Lies is moved and decides to tame monsters like him in the future. To keep her spirit alive, Rentt tells him to start training early. That way she can control everything. She also needs to learn how to use her mana power to control things, but she's sad that she doesn't have enough money to pay for it. Since she is in a poor class and can't pay for lessons, Rentt steps in and asks his friends to teach her since they have time. When Al doesn't accept, Rentt knows that something is wrong. She feels bad about herself because of this, so he tells her that he is only investing in her and that she can pay him back with interest when she is ready. This sounds good to her, so she makes a deal with Rentt. Then Rentt calls Lorraine and tries to convince her that Isel is listening to another girl. Lorraine gets mad and calls Rentt a young girl, but Rentt doesn't get what she means and calls Lorraine because she is the monster of Lorraine. She has chosen to use her magic for another test. She wants to see if he is really dead. He has turned pale from listening to this Rentt because he likes his power so much. He has begun to compliment her beauty. There's no doubt that she has perfect skin and her body is beautiful. Also, he lies when he says that she is the most beautiful woman in the world. She calmed down for a second, but I think the next thing she did was enter wrath. How can he praise in this way? Where did he learn such flowery language? He also dispels her doubts that he flirts with girls, showing her that he is not that type of guy. Now that she is calm, she goes to get the food. Eating this tasty food has cleansed her blood, and she can now go to heaven at night. The next morning, she dreams about Ren's flowery language. As it goes from Rentt to guilt. For Edel, on the other hand, his deep sleep is great. It's strange that Master is working and Sevenit is taking a break. He jumps to Shields, who wants to meet him because he is lonely. In fact, she tells him about the last family and this family. When Rentt checks the card, he sees that it's from Isaac Shella. She tells him not to take this family lightly because it's a powerful and mysterious one, and if they don't respect them, they will have to deal with the consequences. When they invite him and then want to reward him, Shelly worries about him because he has to take the reward or face the punishment. But Rentt has decided not to refuse it, but still, Shella is scared of him because he is a monster and not a person. If they find out who he is, they can kill him. Rentt knows about it, but he can't do anything about it. On the other hand, Norman and the healer visit Lan and tell her about the disease. When Lan heard this, she decided to quit her job, but Norman told her not to, because they had already made the medicine that would heal her and get rid of the disease. Because she can't afford it, she won't take the medicine. Isol hugs her and tells her to take the medicine. The healer then tells her how hard this little girl works to take the medicine. The adventurer also risked his life to get a blossom dragon flower. By writing this down, she can remember the adventurer and know that he is here to do the job. On the other hand, Rentt has arrived at the palace and is talking to the guard. He wants to know about Isaac. Isaac has gone outside the palace to meet him. He needs to get to the palace. The guard has opened the door for him. It amazes Rentt that there is a maze in front of him. In fact, it's his challenge. He needs to do it. The magical tool can be given to anyone who makes it through this maze. Rentt is excited to hear this because magic tools are important. But before he goes inside, the guard tells him that this place is full of traps that were set with a magic tool. There are many magic tools in this family, and they put one of them in this maze so that only a few people can get through it. If he does, it means he is skilled and capable. Rentt and also asks for advice. He wouldn't depend on the sun, and Rentt stepped inside to think about what he had said. When Rentt steps inside, he thinks about the tool. He can get rich and become a middle-level adventurer if he gets the tool. He also looks at the magic map. It's not working though, because this place has a magic tool. He trusts his own mind and skills. He keeps going for hours, but he can't get to the exit in the end. He needs to accept that he has lost. Renato will penetrate the maze and reach the Ruturo family, the wealthiest family in the entire city. Not only will he obtain one reward, which is vampire blood, but also he'll get another reward. What could that second reward be? And what will happen to him when he drinks this magical blood? Stay tuned to the Hive for all the excitement. But please, my friends, I need your support by liking, subscribing to the channel, and also leaving a simple comment so that I can create more of the most thrilling videos ever. The episode of this anime begins with Rento talking to Sheila, where she tells him that if he intends to continue his life here in the village, he should not refuse this task. He replied that he never intended to refuse it in the first place. Sheila was very worried about him, not revealing his true appearance because he would be crushed if they found out he was a monster. He reassured her that Isaac never seemed surprised by his appearance when they first met. So if there was a problem, Isaac wouldn't have asked him for the task in the first place. Sheila was a bit relieved, and then asked him to tell her if anything happened to him. Rento agreed, then went to visit this family. After that, Rento goes to the family's house, but at the beginning of the house, there's a large maze. He remembers Isaac's words warning him not to rely on the sun, as most mazes are closed, and no one can see the sky in them anyway. Adventurers can create a mental map without needing to see the sunlight, so if Rento's mental map was correct, he would have arrived long ago. Then Rentu arrives at this place and thinks it's the exit. There, he meets Laura, the daughter of this family, but he doesn't know who she is. Laura speaks to him, saying she knows he will never give up. Rento says he still wants to try harder, and she tells him he must continue in this direction but still has some time to finish the maze. If he wants to rest for a while, what does he think about having tea with her? Rento agrees, and they sit down together to drink tea. When Rentu sat down with Laura, she poured the tea, and Rentu told her that she forgot to add the tea. Laura replied that this teapot doesn't need tea to be added every time. You only need to add tea to it once at the first use. Rena was amazed by that and asked her where she got this magical tool. She told him that there are two types of magical tools. As he knows, those found in mazes and those crafted by artisans. As for this tool, it was found in a maze about 200 years ago, and its price was around 300 pieces of platinum. Rentt was shocked to hear that because one piece of platinum is enough to live comfortably for the rest of his life. It seems that the Ratoru family is much wealthier than the nobles of this village. Laura explained to him that this piece deserves all this value because adventurers risk their lives and enter mazes to find such tools. Rentt said that even if adventurers risk their lives, many magical tools end up being just junk. Then Rentt drank the tea and lifted the mask from his face, surprising Laura with this magical mask. She asked him where he got it, and he told her that an acquaintance bought it for him from a stall in the malt village for just 3 copper pieces. Laura was amazed that such intriguing things are found in malt and shyly asked him to give her the mask. Rentt said that he heard indeed that the Ratoru family is fond of collecting magical tools. She offered to compensate him with a fair price. But Rentt didn't answer her because he wants to get rid of it, although he can't take it off his face. After remembering that the mask is responsible for hiding the monster face he possesses, Rentt apologizes to Laura because it's difficult for him to part with the mask. Laura gets annoyed because she wanted it, but she understands that the mask holds precious memories for him. She apologizes to him for her request, and Rentt thanks her for the tea before heading to the Ratoru family's house. But before he leaves, Laura gives him a hint, warning him not to look at the sun. Rentt finds this suspicious since it's the second time someone tells him this, so he realizes there's a trick in this maze. He looks at the sun for a moment and then picks up stones from the ground, throwing them towards the sky, discovering that it wasn't the real sky. This is the technique of aerial transition. He thinks about using this technique to return, but realizes it might only work in one direction. He can't believe such a trap exists outside regular mazes. In the end, he understands that he has to start over. Rentt begins anew until he reaches the Ratoru family's house. Laura comes out to meet him, mentioning that he managed to uncover the secret of the maze. He credits the advice given to him by someone, and she reveals herself as the lady of the house, Laura Ratoru. She expresses her wish for them to become friends from now on, surprising Rentt because this girl is the lady of the house. He introduces himself as an adventurer of the copper rank and came regarding the mission since he managed to overcome the maze. Laura acknowledges that very few can surpass that maze and promises him a reward for it. After entering the house and exploring it, Laura told Rentt that he could choose any magical tool from the ones the Ratoru family kept. He jokingly requested the tool used to create the maze, but Laura apologized and said they couldn't give him that tool. Rentt then admitted he was teasing her because that tool made him spin mercilessly in the maze, so he wanted to tease her a bit. Laura then took him to a specific place and said, "The tools crafted by artisans are more efficient than others, but the maximum they can create are simple tools like this light." Rentt exclaimed, "The existence of these tools is a complete mystery." Then he was astonished and asked if all these tools were magical. Laura replied, "Yes, I suffered a lot to organize them. Do you want to know how the mazes were created and why they exist? No one has found the answer, and the same applies to magical tools. Some magical tools are just scrap, and no one knows how to use them." She then threw a ball to him and asked, "What is this magical tool?" Laura answered, "I don't know, but when you throw it once, it continues to bounce for a long time." Rentt asked why she collected something like that, and she replied, "Because I wanted to. That's what's called a collecting of obsession." Then she asked him if he had seen the airship in the western area. She explained that it's a huge vehicle that transports people through hot air, and the invention is a model of that airship, but works with magic instead of air, and you can control it using this. Laura then demonstrated the invention in front of Rentt, who was very impressed. He told her that it was very enjoyable, and he started to desire owning it. She asked him if he would choose it, to which he replied, "I want it, but in the end, it's just a game." Rentt thought to himself, "The child inside me tells me to take it, but the mature part advises me to take something more useful." Laura noticed Rentt's dilemma and advised him to focus on this thing and take control of the invention. She told him that it could give him an aerial perspective as if he were inside it. Rentt found it fun but noted that it consumed a lot of magical energy. Laura informed him that this was just a model for convenience, and the magical tool was found in one of the mazes. The airship was an imitation of this magical tool, not the other way around, as they couldn't figure out the magic technology powering the airship, so they resorted to another technology to operate it. Rentt admitted that he thought it was just a game, but realized it could be useful for exploration. Laura agreed, but mentioned that it might not be able to fly long distances because it relied on magical power. Rentt replied that based on his magical abilities, he could use the tool for a few minutes. He decided to think more about it. Laura advised him to continue his research at his own pace. They then entered a new place, and Rentt commented, "There's a lot here." He asked Laura if this was a magical tool, and she confirmed, saying it lights up when something approaches it, even if it's a mouse. She explained that it seemed useful and harmful at the same time. Then Rentt noticed a box and remarked that it looked like an ordinary drawing. Laura encouraged him to press the button on the frame. Rentt pressed the button and monsters came out of it. Then Laura used the invention in front of Rentt, who was very impressed. She told him that it was a cute tool, and he must have been surprised by the sound. Rentt then placed his hands on this box next to him, and a red beam came out of it. This worried Laura, and she spoke with Isaac, asking him about the control device. Isaac replied saying, "I think I placed it in a different location as a precaution." Suddenly, we see this giant creature attacking Rentt. Rentt is shocked when he sees it and manages to dodge its attacks. Rentt talks to himself, saying, "How do I act in the face of something like this?" Then he said to Isaac, "Hold on a little. I'll look for the control device." The giant creature strikes Rentt again, but Rentt avoids the blow and runs quickly, saying, "How long will this giant keep moving? It's only absorbing a little magic from me." Isaac tells him the energy it absorbed from you was just for activation. Laura explains that it becomes stronger by absorbing magic and the surrounding materials. Rentt asks them, "Can I hurt it a little?" Laura tells him she doesn't mind, but it's not a foe he can defeat easily. Rentt attacks the creature and breaks its arm. Then Rentt remembers Lauren's words, where she tells him that giants have a word engraved on their forehead in a magical language that means truth. If he adds just one letter to this word, it will change the meaning to death, and the giant will take care of itself. Back to reality, Rentt says there are no words on the giant's forehead. The giant grabs him and slams him forcefully to the ground. Rentt also remembers Lauren's advice about usually having a separate control device to start and stop the giant. If he can't find it, he should either escape or attack and defeat the giant. Back in reality, Rentt rises from the ground and uses his magical power. He says he didn't want others to see this ability, but he has no other choice. He uses the magical fusion ability, but doesn't finish his sentence, and the giant attacks him. Then Laura stopped him suddenly, and the giant fell to the ground, breaking into pieces. Laura and Isaac approached Rentt and asked him if he was injured. Rentt apologized for putting himself in danger due to his negligence in organizing the storage of magical tools. Laura told him that if anyone should take responsibility, it should be her since she owns these items. Rentt admitted it was his mistake for handling the tools without caution. Laura assured them that she would ask the workers to organize the room later. The important thing now was whether Rentt found the tool he wanted to choose. Rentt informed them that he would continue searching. We then see Rentt searching and standing in front of his desk with several items. Laura tells him that they obtained these materials from the monsters. They are not magical tools but can be used as medicine or weapon. Rentt approaches the bottle and is very surprised, showing signs of admiration. Laura tells him that the substance in the bottle is vampire blood. It is said that anyone who drinks it can transform into a vampire, but it's just a rumor. In reality, there are a few recorded cases of people drinking vampire blood. Most of them went insane and died, while the few who survived became paralyzed. Even if someone succeeded in transforming, they would be killed instantly. Although this rumor is unconfirmed, some people still desire immortality and transformation. Laura tells him that he can sell that blood at a very high price to rulers and kings. The scene shifts to Rentt with Lauren in her house, where he tells her that this is the tool he acquired. Lauren is impressed by it. We then see Rentt using the remote control to fly the tool, and Lauren tells him that she saw the original airship but didn't know it was inspired by this tool, which can be freely controlled and provides an internal perspective. It's very enjoyable. Then Lauren asks Rentt about the Ratoro family, and Rentt tells her that they honor him because there are not many adventurers who can regularly go to the Tarrasque swamp like him. He remembers his conversation with Isaac, where Isaac asked him to get the tool, and Isaac agreed to it, considering it a thank you for accepting this annoying task. He will be paid the reward stipulated in the contract each time he brings them dragon's blood flowers, and this will help Rina to assist them in facing Lady Laura's illness. Then we return to reality, and Rentt tells her that the conversation was enjoyable and offers her to try the tool. Lorraine asks him if he's avoiding the topic, but Rentt expresses that he didn't mean to. Then we see Isaac with the dragon's blood flower, and he pours the blood into the bowl and offers it to Lauren, telling her that she should relax for a while. Then the scene shifts to Rentt, where Lauren asks him if this is real vampire blood. Rentt tells her that he believes so because when he first saw it, he felt that it would bring about a change if he drank from it. Loren tells him that according to the records, all people who drank vampire blood met a tragic end. Renato admits that it would be false to say he's not afraid, but it's necessary for the existential evolution process. His body desires it, although it's extremely dangerous as he could lose his life. Loren pleads with him that even if his body could handle the blood, since he's not compelled to drink it, he shouldn't. She doesn't mind him remaining a monster forever, living with her, and continuing his adventure work for the rest of his life. But he won't like that, regardless of whether he possesses a talent or not, and regardless of the number of years he might need. He wants to achieve his goal in any way, which is the mythril rank. And so our episode of this anime ends. To follow new episodes, please subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Despite Loren's severe warnings, Rentt will drink the magical blood he received as a gift from the royal family. This blood is extremely dangerous. It can lead to death or turn him into a vampire, causing him to lose control. What will happen to Rentt? Is there hope for him to regain his true self? Exciting events unfold leading to the climax where you'll discover everything. The episode starts with Rentt holding vampire blood in his hand. Lorraine warned him not to take it because doing so would put his life in jeopardy and she couldn't let him perish. Therefore, even if he is undead, she is okay with it and willing to keep him in her home. His goal is to become a mythril rank adventurer, which he can only do by transforming into a human and getting acclimated to living as an undead. He fails to meet his objective. He is shocked to hear this because Lorraine seems worried about him. Lorraine looks at a question at that precise moment. She's starting to wonder about this. Sheila has asked about it and is aware of it as well. But the issue is that she won't be able to show her cruise when the renter finds out. When she realizes he won't leave her until he answers her question, she wants to ask something while acting as though she's interested, which makes him really eager to learn more. She is prepared to ask. However, it is up to him whether or not he chooses to answer. She is not in a rush. In actuality, there is a role that the explorers are unable to uncover the history of. It would be against the organization if they did. She doesn't even try to internally pressure him about this. She is desperate to hear about it, but she asks him why he wishes to become an adventurer of the mythril rank. What is the background to this small section? She is not quite sure about it, but she knows because she has known him for a long time. His childhood dream is also to become a mythril rank, so why does this keep pushing him to achieve it now? Rentt understands why she's hesitant to find out. That's not how it works. He prefers not to tell her in public and never has the chance to do so. But he is happy to tell her because there is nothing to conceal from the tragedy. Actually, his only motivation for becoming a mythril rank is retaliation. Listening. Lorraine is surprised by this. He is a resident of the little village of Hathara. His parents transport the items to a different town. Furthermore, he turns 5 when he turns 7, so he never gets to move with them. His sister Jinlin and he were taken by their parents. While she is eager to explore the outside world, Rentt is afraid of the large number of people he will encounter. However, Jinlin is hoping to see a waterfall and a magical palace that is rentable and capable of disappearing. Even though these actions are risky, Jinlin must fulfill her dream at all costs. When Jinlin expresses her desire to grow stronger, Rentt is taken aback. She also tells him that she'll watch out for him. It brings him joy to remember those times. Their grandmother even chastises them for causing trouble for her. However, there are some awful moments that surprise Lore when they come back. A monster known as the Wolf Monad attacks them. This is not the wolf monster they have imagined. It is hideous and powerful. The grandmother and parents have also perished as a result of this monster turning their carriage. Although they make an effort to wake her up, she has already passed away when they sense the presence of a different creature. This is just a wolf demon observing another wolf demon. Jinlin is still in her senses even though Rentt's feet have frozen to earth. Grasping his hand, she takes off running. The demon wolf doesn't stop them. He can easily catch them without turning around. For the moment, they are running to save their lives. They feel safe when they pause to catch their breath, but now that stones have fallen on their feet, they are at fault. It makes clear that the wolf demon is manipulating them. For his amusement alone, they have allowed them to leave. He is now staring at them as if they were hunter's prey. The wolf demon leaps on him at the same moment, shredding them into pieces. Jinlin pushes the Rentt away so he can save her, but she was injured by his ruthless nails, which prevented her from surviving. At this moment, Rentt is taking her last breath. Recalling her vow to protect him at all costs, Jinlin is in his arms as she gives him the objective of becoming stronger by drawing her last breath. By saying this, it appears that she has granted him permission to carry out her wishes. She has permanently closed her eyes. Simultaneously, the wolf demon lunges towards Rentt, threatening to kill him horribly. But before he can accomplish his nefarious plans, Wolfire stops him with his sword. He orders Rentt to back off until he can use the sword to deal with him. He initiates the renowned battle with the wolf demon. The wolf demon dodges and is also ready. His blows are expertly timed so that both of them can demonstrate superiority and finish the other off. Wolfire leaps into the air and pierces his body with the sword. He asks the wolf demon if he has a death wish after it has hurt him. After realizing, the wolf demon contemplates fleeing while listening to him. There's no way to murder him, however, Rentt is screaming at his family's passing. He can't control his excruciating pain. Not only did he denounce Wolfire for his tardiness, but Wolfire also acknowledged his error and extended his apology for failing to save them. Wolf is the one who brings these corpses home. He then began training to get stronger. Billy Fire then came over to him. He takes advantage of the chance and asks how he can join the ranks of adventurers who are fired. When he realized that he was only 5 years old and that he could register as an adventurer until he was 15, he advised him to learn about herbs and undergo basic training. He's provided him with accurate information. Since it's not his responsibility, Rentt is impressed. He doesn't have to look at him in order to proceed. In addition, he extends a formal introduction and requests to meet again later. Rentt, grinning, has decided to follow his dream of living a life and become an adventurer as well. Since he is aware of how hard it is to survive without family, he has given himself a name by which he can live. At that moment, Lorraine had a change of heart and inspired him to consume the vampire blood in order to level up to a deadly adventurer. She is prepared to bury him properly if he passes away and needs to transform into a vampire. Rentt is aware of how cruel she is and that drinking can kill him, but he isn't letting his fear of dying stop him from acting. He has quickly drawn the vampire's blood by putting everything else aside. Despite his belief that it is not real, he has not noticed any changes between them. He has started screaming at the same moment because he is not feeling well, although Rentt believes he has drowned in the sea and must endure excruciating pain. Lorraine has also grown concerned about Rentt fears that his limbs have changed and that he will turn into a repulsive monster, but he doesn't want to change into one. At that moment, he hears Lorraine calling out to him. She is recalling his goal, and he is also keeping himself under control. A busy man, Iron Smith is forging his sword. Even though his wife is concerned about him, he's working hard to make it so she can appreciate his passion. Moreover, she understands that the rent has increased and that he must make a sword in the orphanage yard that fits him. Kids are playing and enjoying themselves. Who's doing the cleaning? The floor has begun using the broom for practice. Elise is worried about Lillian since she just left the room, but Lillian tells her not to worry because she is feeling refreshed too. She is grateful to her because she feels like she deserves all the credit, but Elise won't accept it. She is grateful to everyone who has assisted her in fixing herself, including Ray and Lola and their matter. The Adventure Guild is now within their reach. Sheila will greet them warmly, give them an update on the mission, and weld. They are happy to have the freedom to make decisions based on their preferences. They can also get a good sum through it. Before entering the labyrinth, Sheila cautions them that there may be danger ahead. If they encounter a creature that is more powerful than they could have ever imagined, they must turn around and not try it again. They ought to cherish their one and only life. Other than that, he's woken up and Rentt is floating on the water. He wants to sleep for a longer period of time because it appears that he hasn't slept well because he can't fall asleep after turning into a monster. Even he has trouble falling asleep. Now that he has had a chance, he has also excelled. He recalls the time when he had to go through the agony of evolution. Every limb changes into an entirely new one. He finds this to be a terrible experience every time he considers it. At that moment, he opens his eyes to face Lorraine. He is unaware of what has transpired. Lorraine admits to researching vampires. The book mentions a variety of vampire species, and she is researching them as well. She has revealed to him the startling news that he has become a vampire. It implies that he has a face. Because he still has the same appearance as the previous renter, his personality has returned. Lorraine asked him to take off his clothes so he could examine himself. When he did so, he revealed the wings on his back. Lorraine is unaware of the vampire with wings, but he has the ability to alter the size to suit his needs. His eyes changed again when he took off the mask, and Lorraine gave him a close-up look. It's not a huge deal that he's become a vampire and that his eyes have turned red, because red eyes are a common sight in humans. As a result, he can easily conceal his true identity from everyone, and no one will ever doubt him. Lorraine admires his face at that moment. She has always been too shy to express her feelings, but lately she has spoken up and touched his face with her pale, delicate hands.